I've been bungee jumping. I once pet a cheetah. I've climbed on the highest active volcano in the world at night. Trust me, when I wear my mask, I'm not wearing my mask because I'm scared. I'm wearing my mask because I care. I care about protecting myself, about protecting those around me. So wear your mask because you care. It's not because you're scared. I've been bungee.
Hold on. I can still hear it in the background. Oh, come on. Hold on. Close this up. I blew the intro, people. I blew the intro. Winston still looks white and he still smells good. You smell good everywhere except for your mouth. I'm sorry. I've embarrassed you. Mwah. All right. Winston says hi. Good evening. Oh boy, that was close. Everybody, how goes the battle? Let me just make sure the dog doesn't knock the stuff over. Okay. Is the audio good? Everybody can hear me? That's a doctor, by the way. That intro is a doctor. On the one hand, describing his own questionable personal life decisions as to what he has decided to do with his life, in his life, and then equating it to wearing a mask at all times, it seems, not because he's scared, but because he cares. And I responded to that tweet and I said, just because you have an MD, a doctor's degree, doesn't mean you're smart, logical, or immune from vapid virtue signaling for social media points. And I was promptly blocked by that doctor. But I don't understand what's going on in the world. I don't understand it. Sometimes I like to think I do. Sometimes I like to pretend I do. I genuinely don't understand. Zuby on Twitter today asked, when did virtue signaling become a thing? Like, is it a new phenomenon? I didn't respond because I think it's a longer discussion. Virtue signaling has always existed. It's sort of the reason why, everybody wants pictures of them smiling. Like, back in the day when we went on vacations with our family and they would say, like, God damn, you kids are going to smile for one bloody picture. So we have one happy picture to show all of our friends and family when we get back from this vacation. Because we all know, anybody with kids knows, 95% of the time, it's not all smiles and I love you, huggy, kissy. 90% of the time, parenting is stress. When you go on vacations, it's stress. When you're living life, it's stress. But you want those pictures and you want people smiling. And everybody who has gone through this with their parents or with their kids knows this. So, that's sort of virtue signaling. That's sort of like what people do on Instagram, except it used to be limited to friends and family. They'd come over and watch the slideshow of your pictures. They'd come over and watch your VHS recording of your trip to, Prince Edward Island. And now it's just concentrated on steroids, and it's been taken to the next level of idiocy, where now it's not, I want a nice smiling picture so everyone knows that we are a happy family, even if we fight from time to time. Now it's, I got to go out there and show everyone that I am so thoughtful and so caring. I do absolutely irrational things to signal to the people out there that I'm thoughtful and caring, as if to suggest if someone doesn't want to wear a mask that they're not thoughtful and caring. And hold on, it's not virtue if the majority of people view it as degenerate. Okay, so I don't actually know the context to that. And let me see here. I agree, Viva. Past 3 years has been really strange and totally confusing. Nothing makes sense. Like the idea that this is a doctor telling you to wear a mask, not because you're scared, but because you care. I'm not a doctor. One thing I can guarantee you is that if you do not have COVID, wearing a mask does nothing to prevent the transmission of COVID. I'm not a doctor. I just happen to have a philosophy degree, and that's logic. If you do not have something, you cannot give it away. So to the 99 or 98% of the world out there, I think it's even more now, who don't have COVID, wearing a mask does absolutely nothing as to the prevention of the transmission of COVID. Then you back it up a little bit more. If you happen to be sick, yeah, wear a mask. If you happen to be sick, stay home. Nobody wants it. If you happen to be asymptomatic, and that's going to be the argument, we don't know who has COVID to transmit it. So you are wearing the mask to prevent transmission from an asymptomatic, otherwise healthy person. I'd like to see the science saying that. But this idea, you go on social media, you put up these vapid virtue signaling tweets, posts, videos that are idiotic, by the way. And here's why it's idiotic. There was another person, I forget who it was. You made the same equally inane argument. You've done drugs at house parties. You smoked something that you found on the ground. You can get the vaccine. I've pet cheetahs. I've gone skydiving. I've gone onto volcanoes at night. Wear a mask. What you're basically telling me is that you have no assessment of risk in any sense of the word, such that your advice, even if you have an MD, is illogical advice, which makes it idiotic advice. And then, by the way, to block someone for jabbing a little bit because your post probably didn't get the response that you wanted. And, what better way to address dissent than by blocking it? And I mean, by the way, anecdote, it's kind of amazing. I was driving home from picking up my kid at school, coming home. Kids got as good, what's it called when you have a 360 spatial awareness, situational awareness. Kid spots an elderly person who fell over on the sidewalk. So we pull over, go over. I run out of the car, across the street. The woman tripped on the sidewalk. And I had to call an ambulance. I believe she may have been injured. I waited there for the ambulance to get there. I'm on 911 telling them what happened. I believe this person fell. I believe this person struck their head. No visible injury, no visible bleeding, a fair bit of pain. And they put me through to the ambulance. The ambulance then proceeds to start asking me questions. They say, we need to ask you questions about COVID now. It's like, okay, go for it. Does the person have any symptoms of COVID? It's like, I don't know. I just met this person. Like, have they had any stomach pains, bowel pains within the last 3 weeks? Have they had fever, back pains? Look, have they had any symptoms? I was like, dude, there's something more important happening right now, more urgent than the woman looks healthy, tells me that nothing. But the ambulance, because this is the myopic vision of what the earth has been focused its attention on. While someone is there in need of urgent treatment for something totally unrelated, I've got to answer a dozen questions on COVID, because that's what is the pressing urgency at this point in time. Took 15 minutes for the ambulance to get there also. So, maybe we can line up cops to bust house parties of people who are not social distancing. You can lock down Ottawa, but it takes 15 minutes to get an ambulance in a situation where 911 was needed. So that's the world in which we are living now. Intro rant. We have decided to focus on something to the exclusion of all other concerns, and it doesn't make us smart. It doesn't make us efficient. It makes us absolutely idiotic as an aggregate. All right. Give Send Go sent me an email. They are refunding because Canada made it criminal to take the funds. They said, yeah, they're. You know what? Hold on. Oh, do I get it? Yeah. Anyways, so Give Send Go sent out the email. They're going to now refund everybody. They put up a tweet which basically said it's hyperbolic, but they basically said, look, Canada's criminalized dispersing these funds to the convoy people, to the truckers. So we're just reimbursing it because we can no longer, at this point, satisfy the goal of the campaign, and they're going to return it. I put out a tweet that said, look, I don't think I'm alone in this. You can keep the tip that I gave you guys. Reimburse it if you have to, but you can keep the tip. The tip of money, enough with the dirty jokes on the interwebs, by the way. I saw what happened there. I was banned from Twitter for the third time. You make me jealous. Cameron, you have to play the rules properly. I don't know what you were banned for. Can't vouch for it, but I know that I've known you for long enough on the interwebs. You got to play the rules. Speaking of being banned and coming back, Uncivil Laws channel is back up on YouTube. All right. Loved the interview with Alexa yesterday. Please do more. I will. It was fantastic. I'm going to post some of those highlights today. The Cain Velasquez highlight has yet to be monetized. It was demonetized on my Viva Clips channel. So I'm waiting for that to be monetized, because you publish something when it's demonetized, YouTube basically doesn't recognize its existence. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. Intro, disclaimers, all super chats. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everything. YouTube takes 30% of super chats. So if you do not like that, we are simultaneously streaming on Rumble. Everyone in the chat, let me know if there's a problem on Rumble. Rumble has these things called Rumble Rants, which are the super chat equivalent of Rumble. They only take 20%. So you can feel better giving more to the creator and supporting a platform that actually supports free speech and open discourse. What else? I'm not going to get to all of them. And if I don't get to it and bring it up like this and you're going to be miffed, feel like I've shilled you or whatever it's called, don't give the super chat. I don't like people feeling offended or vexed. Streaming Convoy. Oh, yeah. By the way, there's a lot of people. Oh, Katab123 streaming the Canada Convoy now to BC. Gorgeousness. British Columbia. Oh, it's the most beautiful, beautiful province, tied with Newfoundland and Arizona State. Okay. Tonight, this is going to be something of a new format, but similar to other formats. We've got multiple guests. 5 Times August is here. He's going to debut his new album, not his new album, sorry, his new song, which is a tribute to the Canadian Convoy. And it was so fitting because this entire episode of the Sidebar, Barnes is not here tonight. He's got March Madness and March break. So nothing bad, only good. If you're into the March stuff, you might want to follow what he's been talking about on social medias. Then we've got 2 guests, Zot, who has the other channel that was live streaming that we met during the convoy, and Spinny, who you may remember from the War Memorial. There are people that when you meet them, they make you feel cozy and you know that you're dealing with a good person. Spinny is one of those people. So I am Zot. You are Zot. We are Zot. Feed Zot. We'll get into it. I had to look up Zot and I discovered something interesting as to what it may or may not mean. Oh, Zot, what's up? Okay. So we're starting with 5 Times August, and we're going to catch up because 5 Times August was on the channel a while back. We're going to listen to the beautiful music. We're going to go to Zot. We're going to talk about his experience live streaming, his experience getting arrested. Then we're going to bring in Spinny, and we're going to have a menage à trois, reminiscing about all of our aggregate experience at the most peaceful protest in the history of my life, at the very least. So without further ado, people, we shall bring in 5 Times August. Brad, how you doing?
All right. How you doing?
This or this? If I do this, Brad, I am going to need you to move. You need to move over one. No, the other way. There you go.
Okay. Here.
Or do we like it like this? You know what? We'll do it like this because I think. Yeah, I heard a juicy sommelier is free pending an appeal.
When I play, I'll have
yeah, this is better. People, if you don't like the format, tough noogies. Let's see what we got here. Okay, amazing stuff. Brad, it's been a while. What has been happening on the personal front, on the professional front since you were last year? Sorry, even back it up. For those of the people watching tonight who may not know who you are, who may not have seen our previous live stream together, elevator pitch. Who are you? What are you doing in life? And then we're going to catch up.
Yeah. My name is Brad Skistimus, singer-songwriter for 5 Times August. Been releasing music for a good 20 years. And this last year, I've released a series of protest singles that have been banned and censored and whatever you want to name it. It's happened the last year. It's been crazy, but I haven't let up and I'm still going at it. So when I was on your show that first time, I had debuted Sad Little Man on your show, which soon afterwards was like YouTube really came after me and really started. They took the video down from search results and stuff, and it was crazy. But thanks for having me back,
Brad. My pleasure. Now you own the rights to "Oh God" or what's
God Help Us All.
God Help Us All. If I play that, I won't get a strike, will I?
No.
Okay, let me, if you don't mind, let me pull that up just real quick because I want people to hear that. It's among the most beautiful songs you can imagine. And then we're going to talk about Sad Little Man. God Help Us All, 5 Times August. Here it is. I want people to hear this because it's absolutely one of the most beautiful. I won't play the whole thing. I'm going to go share.
You better not, or I'm going to find you on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll go copy strike for playing too much of the song. God Help Us All, 5 Times August. Tell me, you see this now?
Yep.
Okay, and I'm going to go 5 Times August. I love this
As
song.
conflict and tragedy.
Oh no, an ad.
Ukraine.
Well, you know what? We're going to have
the world is watching.
Okay, we're going to skip the ad. Skip the ad. Boom. Here we go. Listen to this, guys. Listen to this.
Lock down all towns, everybody slow down, give them everything you have. Mask up, backs up, get your body trashed up, better do what they ask. It's alright, okay, sorry, but you can't pray, gotta keep the church doors closed. No superstitions, a saint politician will tell you what you need to know. Citizen fools and brand new rules make everyone a hero now. So keep your distance, no resistance, only do what you're allowed. Cash that check, go dance in the red.
We need to wait for the
just
chorus,
don't
then we'll
speak
stop.
your mind. Get your facts from the paid contracts, cause never will they tell a lie. They don't know me,
I'm getting goosebumps.
they don't own me. Oh, God help us all. Look what we've become. Oh, God help us all and fix what we have done. See no need.
All right.
Bow to the needle.
I hope I didn't just close myself out of the stream. Did I? No, I didn't. Okay, Brad, I'm gonna ask you this question because it's like not everybody is actually capable of or does even get to in their life create an absolute work of art. You make something like that every time. I'm not trying to kiss your butt or anything. Every time I listen to that, I get goosebumps. I think I'm told they're called frissons. I sort of want to cry. When you make something that beautiful, do you ever get concerned that you'll never be able to do it again?
Every single time. And it's funny because these songs to me have felt more important than anything I've ever done in my life. I've been writing songs for 20 years, and like I used to think that about my old stuff too. Was like, oh, that was a pretty good song. I'll never be able to top that. And then but then I started writing these songs, which to me, these songs are sort of like a spiritual partnership in a way. I mean, that was the first song that I released in this series of songs. And that was a real step out for me to actually sort of make a real statement that I knew was going to draw a line in the sand for certain fans, and they weren't going to be happy about it. But the amount of feedback that I got back from people saying, thank you for writing that song really encouraged me, and it encouraged me to do the next one and the next one after that. But each one sort of has a purpose in mind. And yeah, it's one of those things you're like, oh, geez, I don't know if I'll be able to top that. But right now it's just sort of like what needs to be said is, that's sort of what I ask myself. And then I sort of step into that mind frame, and you're lucky if you come out on the other side of it with something that, you can be proud of.
Okay. And who edited that video together? Because I mean, I know it's stock images, but it's it's beautifully edited and beautifully timed and beautifully rhythmically produced. Did you do it yourself?
Yeah, I do all the videos myself as well. And I really enjoy that aspect of things because it adds a visual statement to the audible statement that I'm making. So they kind of go hand in hand. It's still me saying what I want to say. And that was me being careful first, because I was like, well, they might take this down. I better just use stock images that are free for everybody, just in case they try to. I wasn't sure what was going to happen because I knew I was saying stuff that YouTube wasn't going to like, but they haven't touched that one yet. Knock on wood.
Well, okay, because that one was impeccable. I mean, I couldn't even see it except for, if they wanted to get hyper political. The one that I know you had a problem with, I forget what it was called, but it had an image of blood in it, which might have explained it. What was that song? The first song that you had?
Jesus, What Happened to Us was the follow-up to that. And that was video clips from the news and from viral clips that had been going around. And it was up for like months before they flagged it. And then they decided that they demonetized it. And then months later, they decided again, now it's going to be age restricted. And so they made it 18 years and up. And it's like, there's a lot worse things on YouTube than my video here. So I could feel the pressure early on that what I was doing and what I was saying is going to push some buttons. But every time, of course, like I said, like the feedback has been so tremendous from the people discovering these songs that it gives me more confidence to step further into it, to lean more into what I'm saying. And at the end of the day, I'm just like, it's just YouTube. I get it. They're the main social platform for video, but it's like, it's just YouTube. All these social media platforms, the big tech, the scary big tech guys, it's sort of like, they're just MySpace used to be the thing, and now nobody talks about it. So, you just sort of have to say what you want to say until they boot you out, I guess.
And that song in particular, writing it, producing it, editing the video, what time frame, how many hours, if you can quantify it, are we looking at?
What's happened with these songs is like I'll get a song and I'll write that sometime within if it comes to you, there's certain songs that come to you in magic moments where it comes to you in just a couple hours. Sometimes you get distracted. Like I'm raising a family right now. I've got 3 kids, so my songwriting focus is divided up between me getting really into it and going, yeah, this is great, and then somebody coming in and needing food or a snack or something like that. So it's divided up. So sometimes it can take a couple days. But usually what's happened with these songs is I'll write a song within a week, and then that following week I'll make a video, and then that following week I'll release it. And so it's sort of between a 3-week span. What really takes the most time usually is the video itself, especially with Sad Little Man and the latest one that I did. That will be coming out Friday. They're animations, so they take a lot more than just compiling video clips and stuff.
I'm going to read this one out loud, Brad, because I think I knew it, but we're going to highlight it. Everyone needs to join 5 times August on locals.com. He's speaking for so many of us through song and will reach people that might not otherwise be reached. Thank you, Brad, for providing inspiration, encouragement, and hope. Ziggy shrugs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ziggy.
Let me just show what's going on. I wanted to go play Jesus, What Happened to Us. Here. Look at that, people. Sign in to confirm your age.
Yeah.
Is there an age-friendly one, Brad? Let me go back and see.
Yes. So I had to re-edit that video 11 times to get it to a point where they wouldn't age restrict it. And they wouldn't tell me what was wrong with the video. So I had to sort of guess which clips it was. I was sort of like, fine, I'll play the game that you want to play. It's just video clips. I can intersperse as many clips as I need to. It's that one right there with the baby, I think.
Okay, this one here.
Yeah.
I can play this one. I won't get into trouble. Good. Okay, see, this one's got more views. So let's just let people hear a few minutes.
Shingles was merciless.
Over
Shingles.
50. Ask
Why
a
would they be
doctor
showing
about-
me a shingles ad? It's not because I had shingles 2 years ago and I still have post-herpetic neuralgia in my upper torso.
They know you so well.
Google knows me better than I know me. Here, listen to this, guys.
2, 3, 4.
It's Bob Dylan of our time. I know you get the comparison a lot. It's just beautiful. Oh, the CNN says C-O-N. Not bad.
Shut your mouth, get in line, just behave or pay the fine. They're pulling on your backbone and taking out your spine. They want you weak, don't speak, don't question, don't think. Keep staring at your smartphone, get dumber every week. Now give up your freedom and shush. Oh, Jesus, what happened to us?
It is, I mean, I love it. It is just fantastic stuff. That was the course, people, and then we'll try not to get into trouble here. So you had problems with that one. We presume it was because there was a one video clip in it where a person had a bloodied nose or a cut in their forehead was streaming blood. When you took that clip out, did that resolve the issue?
No, I think the most information I got was something about raw video footage of police brutality or something like that. So I went through and took out anytime a cop's hand was on somebody. and you know, the ironic thing was I was sharing videos through my Twitter, video clips saying like, well, what about Childish Gambino's This Is America? It starts out with him shooting somebody in the head and blood splatters everywhere, and he mows down a church choir. It's got 800 million views and it's fully monetized. And I was sharing these stills from the clip on Twitter saying like, what about these? You know, Cardi B's WAP and whatever. So what I ended up doing was replacing those clips of the cops that I had in the original one. You can see in the new edit, there's three clips sewn together, and it's those music videos that I kind of put in, clips from those music videos that I put into the new edit, which was kind of funny. It was fun to play that game because it's sort of like, you just have to play their game.
Yeah, no, and people, you know, people will criticize us for playing the game, like, oh, you call it Maestro and Osiris, just, you know, thumb your nose at the rules, but you get your voice out there. And the funny thing is, sometimes by playing the game, you illustrate the idiocy even more than either by getting kicked off or by not saying anything at all. Funny anecdote, by the way, not anecdote, funny comparison. In the original version of Fight Club, there was anyone who's watched the DVD with the the director's cut with the director commentary. There was one scene where Helena Bonham Carter said something in the original version involving Schmortion, and the censors didn't like it. And so they changed it with something that was so exponentially worse, but it didn't touch on that issue of, it didn't touch on that subject matter. So it got through, but it just made it exponentially worse than what the original comment was. Anybody in the chat who happens to know, that would be a good trivia question. So you had your issues with that. What other videos have you put up that you've had demonetization issues with or outright removal?
There was a video that I made called "I Will Not Be Leaving Quietly." It's just a straight up protest anthem, and the entire video is people hugging and at these protests, at the Worldwide Rally protests, just peacefully protesting, mainly clips of people holding up their signs, giving those signs a little bit more time to shine. And they flagged that video for a day, which was hilarious because I can't even remember what they flagged it for. And I was like, there's nothing in this video that you can say is bad. So they demonetized, they put that back. Again, they attacked Sad Little Man. So
here's the when I first saw Sad Little Man, it was clearly about Fauci. Everyone knew it. There was the one thing in that video where I said, okay, fine. Even I could, I'm not playing devil's advocate, although in fact I am, because I'm going to defend YouTube. You'll tell me if the issue that you had with the video was the part of the video where there was a guillotine of sorts with Fauci. I mean, I said, if I'm watching that and I want to find a problem, that's where I would find the problem. Was that the problem with the video?
No, the problem was that they said there was medical misinformation in the video. And I kept asking them what the medical misinformation was, and they never gave me an answer. And if there's no guillotine in the video, his head does come off and land in a net, but
but it wasn't with a guillotine. It was with I think a piece of paper or something.
It's just an artistic representation of things. That's the thing that I'm trying to. That's fun on my end as an artist is I get to say certain things, and you can. The moment that they say there's medical misinformation in this art that I've put out, like if you listen to the song by itself, I don't think you'd really be able to tell it was about Fauci unless you really knew what I was saying. It's not until you get the visual with it where he's blatantly in the video and he's a snake oil salesman and he's going around and there's somebody had tried to play devil's advocate with me before and said, well, you have a scene in it where he throws syringes at a family and kills them or something. I'm like, but what's in the syringe? You can't say what's in the syringe. That's still not medical misinformation because you're implying what you are interpreting the art to be. So it's just a fun, I don't know if it's fun, but it's just the game that we're all in right now.
And by the way, now that I forgot to bring it up as the intro, just speaking of medical misinformation and what might have gotten people in trouble not long ago. Let me just see where it is. Summary. Oh, here we go. I'm not even going. I'm going to conveniently bleep out, not say certain words. This is for anybody who doesn't know, Government of Canada website. And it is the reported blanks of blanking in Canada. This is updated just in the dead of night, in the quiet of the evening. The government updates it so they can say, look, we told you the information was there. If you didn't know, it's because you didn't know that this website existed and that this website was updated March 11. A total of 81 million doses have been administered in Canada as of March 4. The bad side effects have been reported in nearly 41,000 people. And they're highlighting this. This is not me. That's about 5 out of every 10,000 people. Just let that number sink in, people. Because a while back, I pointed out that CTV News had to correct their initial 1 in a million and to say it was actually, sorry, we made a mistake. It was 1 in 10,000. It's actually now 1 in 2,000. Government of Canada. Of the 41,000, 32 were considered non-serious. I'd like to know what and how, and nearly 8,500 were considered serious. Okay, and then they go into full butt covering mode. This is Government of Canada website. Saying this, saying this on your own a year ago, it couldn't have been a year ago, 6 months ago, would have been a bannable offense. It is now official, confirmed fact on Government of Canada. And if anybody doesn't believe me, it's right up there in the hyperlink. And but you put up a graphic representation of artistic expression, and you're getting flagged for medical misinformation on the interwebs on YouTube.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. So now you're raising 3 kids. Do I ask? I know I asked the last time, and they're going to be relatively 6 months older. How old are your kids again?
We've got 5, 7, and 10.
My goodness.
So it's a handful.
5, 7, 10. All right, yeah, we're about in the same boat. Do you have 2 special needs dogs?
I don't.
Yes.
I've got one dog.
Well, fantastic. I'm just like people out there who don't have kids. I think having kids is like riding a roller coaster. It's one of the few things in life that you cannot possibly understand through osmosis or through projection or through empathy. It's something you cannot understand until you have it, like a roller coaster. Someone can tell you what it feels like when your stomach leaves your body, but until you ride that roller coaster, you'll never know.
Yeah. So
now you've been doing this, and you've still been productive despite the 3 kids and the dog. You've managed to remain creative.
Yeah.
So the Fauci song, how did you resolve your issues with YouTube, or did you?
What I ended up doing, I was trying to communicate with them for over a week. I was airing my grievances with them publicly on Twitter. I was talking through them through Google Creator Support. I saved all of my chats with them. I had emails with them. I was just asking, like, what's the medical misinformation? And they never would tell me. They'd cut it off at a certain point and just say, we've given you all the information that we have. So ultimately, I just decided to upload the video again. And so I have 2 versions on my website, not 2 versions, but 2 separate uploads on my channel of the exact same video with the exact same title and meta information in it. And it's the exact same thing. And that one, knock on wood, has not been messed with yet, but the original upload, you can tell, and they really went after it, because what happened too was Glenn Beck had shared the video, and that day the viralness of the video was really like taking a sharp turn up, and I started getting these comments that were like, hey, this is really hard to find, and they had removed it completely from the search. You could type in "sad little man" 5 times August and you couldn't find it. And I had a lot of back and forth with them about that. Ultimately, the original video came back, but they still haven't fully monetized it again. So there's 2 versions out there. And I think depending on how you search for the video, you can find one or the other at this point. But it's just stupid that they mess with it so much like that. And they don't give you any answers for it. Because I was coming at it from like a creator standpoint, where I'm like, look, don't you owe it to your creators when you mark them for something and say, hey, you messed up, here's how to fix it? Like, that's what how about just tell me what minute of the video, like tell me what minute of the video is problematic, and then I'll interpret it from there. Yeah, exactly.
Someone says "sad little man" is a banger. Love both you guys. Okay, look, I think I've been teasing the crowd enough. Brad, are you ready to you're gonna do the entire song?
I'm gonna play the whole thing for you. This is a worldwide exclusive.
You know what? Okay, let's give people 2 minutes. I'm gonna kill some time while you get ready. Worldwide exclusive. This song you're dropping. This is like Tom McDonald singing a rap song on Viva Frei before publishing it on the Friday, except it's not a rap song.
No,
and I'm okay now. So while everyone gets in the mood here, is it fast-paced and angry, or is it more like "God Help Us All," acoustic and slow?
It's more like "God Help Us All," and the song is called "This Just In," and it's a play on words. I was just so inspired by everything that had happened in Canada over the last couple of months, and the tone that they set, and just it was just inspiring to see. I was like, this is how you do it. And I love that you were out there. And I had some other projects that I had been working on that I wanted to put out there, but the tone shifted so fast once the police got involved, and it just didn't seem appropriate. And I came back around to it and wrote this song, and it's a nice song, but with a pretty blunt message.
All right. Now I'm going to bring myself down, which is the exact wrong way here. We want to do this. All right, Brad. Everyone in the chat, you have had time to get your friends and family in for this world exclusive. Oh, do I just take my ugly? I'm going to take my ugly face out of here. No, I can't, because then I can't talk while I'm doing it. How much smaller can I make myself? No. We're going back to this. Okay, Brad.
I want to see the bouncing Viva head with the lyrics at some point.
I don't think StreamYards has that functionality yet, but one day we'll put in the request. Okay. By the way, a side note: do you get nervous before you do this?
No.
Okay.
I was in DC for Defeat the Mandates in January in front of 35,000 people on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, and that was the most intense thing I've ever done. It was the coolest thing I've ever done. But that was one moment where I had to remove myself from where I was mentally to get through that performance, because it was like, this is too cool. But being here with you, this is like hanging out. I love it.
Brad, I'm gonna take my face out so that you can then clip this and put it on your channel entirely.
Okay.
I'm gonna hear you, and I'll put myself back in sooner than later. Everyone in the chat, enjoy the exclusive. What's the name of the song?
This just in. Yeah.
Okay. Go for it.
This just in, another liar on the news, standing at the pulpit ready to abuse. This just in, another coward in control, scared by the sound so he hides in a hole. He'll call on the guards to trample the crowd, 'cause the louder they get, their silence is power. Shame, blame, no matter what they say, don't let the bastard get to you. He's gonna try to shut us down, but we'll stand our ground. Hey, this just in, he'll lose. This just in, another villain on the screen, acting like a hero for all the drama queens. This just in, another black painted face, lathered in his virtue, enslaving every race. He'll send out the troops and freeze the accounts, says the freedom you get is what he makes allowed. Shame, blame, no matter what they say, don't let the bastard get to you. He's gonna try to shut us down, but we'll stand our ground. Hey, this just in, he'll lose. If you look in his eyes, you can see he's afraid, so fragile inside while the town's on parade. Shame, blame, no matter what they say, don't let the bastard get to you. He's gonna try to shut us down, but we'll stand our ground. Hey, this just in, he'll lose. No, he'll never shut us down, 'cause we'll stand our ground. Hey, this just in, you lose.
Okay, amazing. Let me just go back to the way we were. Yeah, okay, I get goosebumps easily, but I got goosebumps. It's look, there's almost speechless. It's just like it's an art. You're expressing people's thoughts. Your lyrics are amazing. I genuinely love the lyrics. I just hope in 30 years people get the subtle references, which they'll get in the time. And if they don't, you're going to be, I hope that teachers teach this to say what those lyrics meant because of what happened at the time.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, and I'm eager to hear the finished, edited, stylized, touched up, and video version because it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, there's it kind of reminded me of Mr. Tambourine Man by Bob Dylan, where there's that song. I think it was Mr. Tambourine Man, where the whole idea of Mr. Tambourine Man was he was delivering drugs or something like that. And so I hope that, like you said, in some time from now, they're like, what he meant by this media reference of this just in, they can explain that to the next generation.
Well,
but the video itself, I think, is going to illustrate some of those things as well.
The blackface enslaving every race. I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I mean, the blackface is in your face. It's obvious, but the fact that this guy, who is arguably, but not arguably, the most racist, misogynist individual out there, in his virtue signaling, has managed to actually enslave all Canadians. It's hyperbolic, but it is what it is, and the words are what they are, and they're beautiful, and they're representative of what people are feeling. Some people might not agree with it.
Yeah.
That's so. Now, what? First of all, your channel. Where can people find you?
Yeah, so that song's going to be out on Friday and or tomorrow night around midnight, depending on your time zone. You can download it from Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, Bandcamp. All those things, 5timesaugust.com if you can't remember any of that. And then youtube.com/5timesaugust. We'll have the video up Friday morning sometime. And, I hope you guys enjoy that. I was thinking, I didn't want to be too mean-spirited with this song because the entire movement was just so nice. You were talking about being at that protest and how peaceful it was. And when I was in DC for the Defeat the Mandates thing, it was the most awesome, harmonious thing I've experienced in years. It was so nice. But then you read the media's interpretation of it the next day and you're like, wait a minute. You're like, I was there. You can't do that. And watching that live, my biggest beef with the whole thing was everybody there had a phone. They were live streaming what was actually happening, and the media still had the gall to twist it into a way that made it look horrible, and people still believed it.
No, and not just that, other people out there were willfully blind enough to say, I don't need to go there, even though I live in Ottawa. I don't need to watch it. I don't have 4 hours to watch it. I'm just choose to believe what I want to believe, and I'm going to use legacy media to reaffirm the belief that I already have.
Yeah.
Brad, I'm going to put all of your links in the pinned comment when this is over. Thank you. It is beautiful. What's the highest you've ever gotten on iTunes for a single that you've released?
We have gotten to #1 on Apple Music singer-songwriter charts. Now, once you get to #1 on singer-songwriter charts, then you're in the top 200 of all of Apple Music. Now, if we could push that up into #1 of all of Apple Music, that would be incredible. And it's an uphill battle, but if you just make sure if you go to Apple, for instance, buy the song, you have to download it. The streaming doesn't really count towards the chart stuff. But otherwise, if you don't like the big tech stuff, you can just, as long as you're listening, you can get it downloaded on Bandcamp. And that's a more direct artist listener exchange there.
Look, I don't know. I hope I have enough pull in the social media world to make it happen. I'm downloading that Friday and I'm going to blast it out Friday. Brad, thank you very much. And it's a perfect segue on Believing Your Eyes because the info is out there. I see Zot in the background. I see Spinny in the background. Brad, thank you for everything. Keep it up. It's magnificent and God bless and success in what you're doing because you deserve it and it's earned. So
thank you so much.
We'll do this
Appreciate
again.
you having me on. All right. I'll see everybody. Thank you.
All right, people. I'm going to give Zot a 30-second heads up. I see him adjusting his camera in the backdrop. Okay, he's giving me the thumbs up. You may know Zot from such live streams as, hold on. Before we bring Zot up, I have to bring up the moment that Zot and I first met. Here we go. Yep, this is it. Give me a second, people. Here, this is the time Zot and I first met. at the convoy?
So, by the way, while that discussion was going on, there was a little kerfuffle of someone in the background who did not think the Freedom Convoy was protesting for freedom.
There he is. There he is.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, man, I'd love to give my YouTuber a shout out. It's ZOT.
Is there anything bad on this channel that's going to
No,
embarrass
I'm
me?
actually live streaming the convoy. I do it at night when you're not streaming, when no one is streaming, so people get 24-hour footage. I spend a lot of time doing it, guys. Go subscribe.
ZOT.
Yes, guys.
All right.
Let's see if I gain anything. Let's see if I gain
It's going to take more time than that. Come on. Oh, you got one. You got one. How you doing? I'm back up.
Yeah, we need it everywhere. Thanks, man.
No problem. Have a good one.
ZOT's on, guys. Go subscribe. Love you.
It's amazing, people. Grit, determination, and then the crossing of fortuitous paths. Let me bring my own screen back up. How amazing is that? I believe if I can see properly, and I think I can, his channel was at under 9,000 subs at that moment in time. Zot, how many subs are you up to now? Not that it matters. All is vanity. It is idolatry. But how many subs are you up to now?
I'm at 77,000. I just hit it today.
Unfreaking believable. But not just unfreaking believable. Well deserved. Who would have thunk that what we were doing would have turned into what it's turned into? Okay, so we're gonna start from the ground up here because I know very little about you. I know your name, but tell the crowd if you don't mind telling them your first name, not necessarily Matt.
Yeah.
Okay, dude. So we met at the protests. You were live streaming. We'll get into how you got into that in the first place, but you've had a YouTube channel up for a little while.
I had it running since November.
What were you doing on the channel before the convoy occurred?
I was posting comedy videos.
Now stand up like you're like I want to think of
more
Charlie.
like prank social experiments.
Oh, geez, one of those. It's a prank, bro. You told me you had nothing bad on your channel, sir. Well, my goodness. So you were doing that since November. Look, people know you're young. Do you mind telling people quite how young you are?
20. Or I just turned 21, actually.
Oh, you know what? I think we did discuss this at one point in the subsequent days. So, man, so you have this channel up. You're doing this. You're doing social. You're doing pranks. Let's call it what it is. And I suspect they're juvenile. What was one of the more higher viewed pranks that you posted?
There was one I went to McDonald's and I ate people's food, but it was.
Oh, sorry, hold on. You ate other people's food?
Yeah.
These are things you can only do in an unarmed society like Canada. How many views did that get?
I got like 4,000 or 5,000.
Oh, okay, dude. So that's modest. That's not like a million. Not like the those killer clown pranks, which are not pranks. They're all set up, by the way. You're 21 years old. You're from Ottawa, if I may ask?
Yeah, I'm from Ottawa.
By the way, I'm going to ask a bunch of invasive questions. If you don't want to answer, just say no comment. Born and raised in Ottawa.
Yeah.
Siblings. What do your parents do? How many siblings do you have? What was your childhood like? Although you're still in it, what was your younger childhood like?
For the siblings question, there's a huge thing. I don't know if you spoke to Charlotte, have you?
I have not spoken to Charlotte. Charlotte is your...
That's the big question, and no one knows.
Girlfriend or sister, dude. That's
girlfriend
not
or sister, so I can't answer that.
Not exactly something you want people confusing, but okay. I'm going to say sister. So you won't answer the siblings question. May I ask what your parents do, like what your parents do as a job for a living?
They're into real estate.
Okay. So why are you not in university, or are you in university? I know I asked you this on the street.
Well, I was enrolled in Carleton University in Ottawa, but I don't know. I decided to take a bit of time just to see if I could do anything better with my life. And then if not, go to university, because I was still enrolled. I can go anytime. Well, I still can, but I don't know.
Okay, dude. Well, technically, she could be your sister through adoption or through a second marriage, which would be interesting. Okay, I'm not getting into it, people. That is not the purpose of this. Zot, you're when you started doing the Ottawa Convoy, were you in school or not? You were not in school anymore.
No, I wasn't.
Did you stop going to school at the same time you started the YouTube channel with the social experiments?
No, I never went. I just enrolled.
Okay. So you enrolled, never went, and then how does the creation of the YouTube channel coincide with your decision not to go to university despite being enrolled?
The YouTube was a complete. That wasn't how to do it. That was just one day. Like, my friend, he told me he wanted to make one, so I said, I may as well. I'll make one. I'll make one too.
Okay, so interesting. So you're doing that. You're plugging away. You live in Ottawa. Are you working at the same time? If you're not in school, I presume you have to have a job.
No,
dude. What the? Getting back to the whole parenting thing. When you don't have 3 kids and dogs and a mortgage and all this other crap, I guess you have freedom. And what? So, so okay. No judgment and genuinely no judgment. Not you enrolled, but do not go to university. No job, and you started a YouTube channel about pranks. And then you stumble your way into the Ottawa protest convoy thing. Dude, tell me how that happens. You live in Ottawa. Were you paying attention to this convoy?
I was. The funny part is that when the convoy started, I wasn't even in Ottawa. I was in Toronto, because Charlotte goes to school there.
Girlfriend. I take it back. Girlfriend, not sister. Okay, sorry.
And I saw it just kept going on, the convoy. So I was like, I have to go back to Ottawa. I had to see it. It was, I don't know how familiar you are with Ottawa, but it is the most boring place in the world. And to see something like that going on, there was no way I was going to miss it.
So, and this is not for a question of ego or anything, full stop. Had you seen other people streaming, or had you seen me streaming and you said, like, I want to go down there and see what's going on myself? Or was it just totally like spontaneous creation?
I actually didn't see your stream till that day, but I saw Ottawa Walks.
Okay.
And I saw a couple other guys.
That's so, I mean, it's fascinating. So you go down. I'll ask the totally crass question. Your channel's monetized. You're somewhat familiar with YouTube by the time this all happens?
No, at the time I wasn't monetized.
Okay. So you go down and you say, I'm going to, you have a place to stay. You have either a house or a domicile or someone to stay with in Ottawa. So you go down and say, I'm going to spend an indefinite period of time here now.
My parents live here, so I always have a place here.
Okay. So you go back to your parents' place with Charlotte? Okay, I'm going to drop this joke right now. You go to Ottawa. You saw Ottawa Walks. You say, there's no way I'm going to miss this. Ottawa, I can concur. I like. It's a very beautiful city. Actually, oddly enough, outside of Parliament Hill, outside of the market. I forget what it's called. It starts with a B. What's that market called?
Byward Market.
Byward Market. Outside of there, we have friends in the Glebe. We have friends in Ottawa's a beautiful city. Small, bureaucratic government towns. I have a deep resentment for government towns because they exist off the teat of citizens who pay their. I have an issue, but it's a beautiful town. Good museums, nice skating in the winter, good fishing in the summer, and it's nice. But Byward Market, Parliament Hill, Wellington Street, ordinarily were never places you'd ever want to be at night. I don't care that the Fairmount is there. Fairmount's a beautiful hotel, but you stay in your hotel after night. What was your experience, so that nobody just believes my own neurotic, fear-induced or fear-based, perception of downtown Ottawa? What was your impression of Wellington, Byward Market before the convoy got there? Would you ever want to be there at night?
Yeah, I didn't personally. I mean, the downtown area where there's the homeless shelter, it gets a bit bad there. But besides that, I don't find Ottawa too bad now.
Okay, well, I have a low threshold for tolerance of fear, but okay. So setting that aside, so you see the protest is going on. You're in Toronto. You say, I'm going to go down there and stream it.
Yeah.
What was your first day in Ottawa? Was when? Was it February? Was it the day we met, or was it the day before?
The day we met. No, the night before. I got there. I was in the car. I was shaking the whole time. I had to be there, and and then the day I got there, I don't know if there's anyone that was there day one. The first day I got there, I was completely unprepared. I didn't have a battery pack. I had one glove. It was minus like 25, 20.
Yeah.
I had one glove. My hand was completely numb, and I was live streaming. I didn't know what I was doing. The camera was shaking. It was a complete mess.
And I mean, look, I'll say, you've done the pranks and you've done the social experiments. You've never done anything live.
No.
To the audience that you ended up having. Did you understand in the moment the impact of what you were doing?
No.
I mean, and when did it hit home for the first time? You know,
when I really started to get to know the truckers, that's when I was like, it really changed my view on it completely.
Ottawa is known as the city. Okay, sorry. No, I've got family and friends in Ottawa, but it's a nice city. It's a quiet. All right, man. So look, we're going to get into the. I understand either your sister, girlfriend, cousin, whatever, Charlotte is still streaming, and then we're going to get into what happened to you and why you couldn't in Ottawa, but we'll get there soon. So you start the evening of day one. For those who haven't done this, who might have no idea what goes through the progression of an individual, from the day one to the last day before getting arrested, what's the progress? Like, how do you evolve as a human? How do you get used to doing what you're doing? What's your learning curve, and what is your impression of what you're witnessing and what you're doing in real time?
Now, to start off, I want to say I felt like the 3 weeks I was there, it was a movie. It's a complete movie. The beginning, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what was going on, nothing. And at the end, I loved being there so much every day. I spent, out of all the streams, I spent the most time. I was there 12 hours a day, no matter what. And then I met lots of great people. I saw lots of great things. I've never seen Ottawa like this. Everyone was so kind. Everyone was loving. Everyone was just, if ever I was in the stream, I was streaming, I said, oh, I need something. Or one time there was I don't know, you probably haven't talked to him, a trucker named Danny, and he needed diesel. And then I said in the chat, I'm like, okay, guys, Danny needs diesel. And then if no one can get it to him, I will try to get it to him. And if not, I'll just go buy some myself for him. And then the one of the higher up people there was watching my stream and actually brought it to him. So I saw how generous everyone was. And yeah, no, it was great being there. The food, the music, the people, the everything. It was amazing.
Zot, I almost forgot the most important question. Zot must be biblical somehow. I don't see it, but there must be a reason for this involvement. Setting that aside, the name of the channel. Now, I Googled it first just to see what was going on. I found a couple of expunged trademarks for Zot, but then I stumbled across a comic book from the 80s called Zot with an exclamation point. And it was sort of like a cleaner, less violent version of some of the comics that were trending at the time. Zot, what does the name mean? What does the channel mean, and where did the name come from?
The name didn't come from that. The name just came from I just wanted something very simple. Because I was looking at YouTube channels and I was just thinking of a name, and I wanted a name that was good, and it was something that was bothering me for a while. And then I ended up thinking, you probably know the channel Nelk.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Just
So
to
I was
refresh my memory, sir.
It's like they do pranks and podcasts. I don't know. It's a big channel, but it was just, I kept thinking about the name, and I was like, Nelk. You know, it's like, it's what's good about it. It's short and it's catchy. So I was like, let me remove one letter, and in my opinion, the best letter is Z. Zot.
Well, I like Zone of Truth. So nothing to do with the expunged trademark for whatever it was. It was a house cleaning product or the comic. Okay, interesting. So relatively random then. That's actually beautiful. All right, man. So you get down there, you start streaming. When did you notice that your streams started picking up a lot of viewership, either concurrently or after the fact? Was it right away or a few days after you first started?
No, the first day I just started getting viewers. And then I remember the first night, it was when I didn't have a glove on, I went to go see Ottawa Walk, same as I did to you. And I promoted my channel. And then after I started a stream, and then I was up to 600 viewers. And I thought I was the most famous guy ever. I thought I was Ronaldo at that time. And then it just kept on getting bigger and bigger, and it's at the point that it is now.
I'm going to bring this up, and it's not to put the person on blast, but I want people to appreciate something. I don't know if this is sarcastic or even flattering. Grifter has a negative connotation, and people need to appreciate the difference between grift and graft. And if anybody doesn't understand that, look up what grafter means versus look up what grifter means. There is a difference, people, between people being opportunistic, shameless exploiters of tragedy versus people being hard, gosh darn workers like Zot is. Streaming for 12 hours twice a day to cover it is not called grift. That's graft. It's hard work versus exploitive whatever. I would say the prank stuff might be more grifting, but it's not. It's just cheap humor. There's nothing grifting about what Zot did, about what Ottawa did. You Scotty Ottawa. What's his name? Zot.
You Ottawa Scotty.
You Ottawa Scotty. People need to genuinely either take a step back and understand the difference between grift and hard work. I don't call people grifters even when I think they are, but what Zot did, what Ottawa did, what you Ottawa Scotty did, what Travel Fund 69 did and is doing. It's not grift, people. It's hard work. And if you don't like it, don't watch it. But I want people to think about that before they throw those words out there, because it irritates me for various reasons. So you're out there, man, and 12 hours. I didn't watch you for 12 hours, so pardon me if you answered this at some point. When did you pee?
I figured it out.
Because I noticed your camera was pointing forward more often than not, so you could get away with it. If I were peeing, people would have known. They would have heard the sigh of relief, and they might have heard. All right, man.
But I did. Sometimes I would leave my my camera in a truck and just say I'll be back in a couple minutes, or I would just go to a porta potties and I would see someone near there that I've seen or I've talked to, and I said, "Hey, could you just hold my phone for a couple minutes?"
And so now you get that, and you're getting there. You're not just like walking around. Not that anybody was, but you're interacting with the people. Look, I don't know if you're an introvert, an extrovert, if you've ever had this type of experience before, but are you accustomed to actually stopping strangers, talking to them, listening to their story, and interacting like you did during your streams?
Like I didn't have an issue with it. I mean, it's just like talking to someone. I don't mind. I guess I had the confidence to approach them, and I had the. I don't know. Everyone in the chat, they always say, I always know what to say. I give them the time. I let them speak. I don't know. Maybe I'm natural at it.
I want to bring this one up. This is fantastic. Zot is a Fed. This is I have to read this with comedy. I have to. Zot's a Fed. Yep. Okay. No, it's not. It has to be comedy because look, I've been called Mossad. I've been called a Fed as well. People have seen my progression. 7 years of a social media footprint. Zot, I've seen you. And like when I first saw you, this is the amazing thing. I have a family friend, and he's now much older than you, younger than me, but you reminded me so much of him that the second you came up from behind on the first day that I saw you, I was like, I feel like I know this guy already. But you said 12 hours a day, culminating in your arrest. That's exactly what Feds do all the time. So I take that as a joke, but I have to bring it up because a lot of people make that silly joke, or some people actually believe it. Okay.
I actually have something to elaborate on that for a second. I don't know if you saw, but it was Pat King. He made a huge call out post about a bunch of streamers being Feds, and I was on the list. I
did not see that.
Yeah, that's where the huge Fed thing came from.
Was he joking or was he being serious?
No, he was being serious. He called me, Ottawa, Scotty.
Did he call me a Fed?
No, I don't think you're safe. Well, you're not a Fed.
I'm not good. I'm not good enough to be a Fed. God damn it! Now I'm insulted. Okay, man. So you go there now. You make this decision when you see that it's popular, and I don't mean that in a cynical way. When you see that people want to see this, when you see that people are saying, "I need to see what's going on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week." At first, did you think it was because people just wanted to see, or did you appreciate, if you ever did, that it's because people wanted documentation? Did you ever get that? No, that battle of the purpose.
Yeah, I did understand that because I was seeing how long it was going for, and I knew it would be a big event for a while, right? Because Ottawa never had anything, and then I saw it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and there was no signs of ending. So I knew it is part of history.
And so you get monetized during the convoy?
Yeah, there was a video of me. There was like a 30-minute video, and I got monetized, and then everyone was super chatting me, and I was freaking out.
He says, "Hey, Matt, get some better gear to Charlie." You know what? The funny thing is, this was one of those circumstances. Zod, you'll tell me if you agree, but like better gear would have made it almost look less authentic. I think it was the roughness of the material and the sheer authenticity of the material that made it so engaging. If I can, the definition of a grifter: a person who engages in petty or small scale swindling. Zod is not a grifter, but a great young man, light giver. Thank you very much, and I agree. And by the way, can I swear? It's my a fucking hard worker, because people don't understand. It's hey, Jesus putting a camera. You try doing anything for 12 hours. You try doing anything for 4 hours. You try doing anything that is engaging, that is fair, accurate, and try doing that for 4 hours. Most people can't even run for 30 minutes. And they're going to say that it's a grift to run 24/7, 2 12-hour shifts to document perhaps the greatest protest in Canadian history. So anyways, no more stroking ego and no more calling people out. All right, man. So before we get to your arrest and setting aside your arrest, you got to know those protesters like by name. What was your most memorable experience of the protest? The most memorable individual you met, the most memorable story you had? 3 questions. Start with 1.
Okay, the most memorable event was, it's between when I got arrested and when Eric, the trucker, I don't know if you've talked to him.
Yep. I think I did, but I think I know what you're going to say, but I don't. Eric, everyone's saying Eric right here. Yeah.
Yeah, when he was leaving, and it was I was actually, okay, the story is I was in the bathroom, I was peeing, and I had given some random guy my camera, and I come out the bathroom and the guy's gone. And I'm like, where's my camera? Where's the guy? I'm looking around, I'm walking, I'm stressing, I don't know what's going on, I don't know where's my stream, anything. And then I just see him talking to Eric, and then I go, and he's like, I don't know, he's all happy, he has the camera, I don't know, it's his moment of fame, I guess. And and then I grabbed the camera back, and then he's like, oh yeah, Eric's leaving, by the way. And I'm like, what do you mean Eric's leaving?
This is Eric Mueller, the German truck driver who had his truck parked on Wellington epicenter, had been there since day one. For anybody who doesn't know, I'll just give the rundown. Had to leave because apparently basically the authorities called his employer and said, this dude leaves or we suspend your insurance, and it's going to basically put 50 some odd truckers out of work. And he's like, do I stay or do I go? And he made the decision to go and was visibly distraught about it. That it's that Eric?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's that'll do it. And then I mean, it's people don't understand. Like I saw truck drivers crying, and people crying when they had to leave, when they finally said we have nothing more to gain from being here, we just have more to lose, crying as they left. How do you? I mean, I'm going to put words in your mouth. Have you ever been to summer camp?
No.
Okay. My experience with this is it felt like summer camp. You go on day 1, everybody's a stranger. You don't know anyone from a hole in the wall. It's like summer camp with more uncertainty because you don't know who's going to be there the next day. And then when you go back the second day, you see the same people in the same places doing the same things. Third day, fourth, and you get to know them. And at summer camp, very rarely do you make enemies at summer camp, but at this protest, nobody made any enemies except for when the police came in. But over the course of 3 weeks, and that was my summer at summer camp, you meet people, you develop friendships with them, you recognize their patterns, their behaviors, and then it's over. And then you're like, what a beautiful experience that was. That was my experience with this. So when Eric was leaving, and this was basically the second to last day, if not third to last, second to last day, you had gotten to know Eric throughout the course of the protest?
Oh yeah, I did.
And so like when he says he's leaving and he's crying, I mean he's visibly distraught. I mean, what are you thinking internally?
I was running after him. I had to get every last moment I had with him. When he was driving away, I was the only streamer running with him. I was the only person running with him. I was chasing his truck. And I don't know. It was just sad to see because I felt like that place was just, I don't know. It just, every day I was there, I had my routine. It just wouldn't be the same without Eric. Every day I went to go talk to him. Every day I saw, his huge truck in the middle. It just, I don't know. It was heartbreaking.
He leaves. Temporally, was that the day before you got arrested?
No, that was 2 or 3 days. 2 days, I think.
All right. Unless there's something in there that you want to add as to your experience, let's get to the arrest because you got arrested on a Friday afternoon, right?
I don't. It was around 1 p.m. Yeah, I don't know.
1 p.m. the day that the cops came
or
in,
no,
and
earlier. I think around noon.
but it was the day that the cops came in to basically shut things down.
Yeah.
Let me just bring this. Discussing what these people in charge get away with and zero accountability. No comment. I agree. Walk us through the events of that day. You've been streaming now 12 hours a day, 2 shifts with you and Charlotte. No more jokes. The day of, how long had you been streaming for before the events occurred?
It was. I just started I had started the stream, and then everyone was saying you have to go to this street. I forgot the exact street, Metcalf and something. No, I forgot the street. But everyone in the chat
I think it was Elgin. I think it was Elgin.
No, it was past Elgin.
Okay.
I don't know. Everyone in the chat was saying you have to go to these 2 streets. There's so many police. You need to go record this. And then I was like, okay, I'll go. So I went. At this point, this is about 50 minutes into the stream. And I was there about 30 minutes into the stream. I lingered there for 15 minutes, walked around, recorded all that. And then I wanted to get back to the middle where everything was, next to Rito, in between the hotel and Rito. And that's all I want. I just want to go back. And then I went one way, and then they said, you can't go this way. So I said, okay. And then I went the other way, and then they just arrested me pretty much. They just said, the guy said, hey man, you can't go this way. If you come here another time, I'm going to arrest you. And then I said, okay, so which way can I go? Because obviously no one wants to get arrested. I was trying to
Let me stop you there.
Yeah.
Have you ever been arrested before?
No.
That's such a fed answer, man. Zod, I'm starting to think. Okay, you've never been arrested. No problems with the law.
Yeah.
This guy says, go. I mean, look, I saw the video. I'm getting live messages like, Zod just got arrested. I go watch it. It's like, oh, looks fine to me. They say, go this way or you're going to get arrested. And then you say, where do I go? And then what happens?
And then, I'm speaking to him. I'm like, where do I go? I'm like pointing. I'm like, this way, that way. And then he's telling me he's pointing to, or I'm pretty sure. And then some other, an RCMP comes out of nowhere and he's like, you're under arrest. And then I say, for what? And then the video cuts.
And how do you know he was RCMP if you say it? Not to put you on the spot.
I just saw it on he was just an RCMP.
Dude, now the video cuts. This is, and I know you've said it, and I know you've explained it to your viewers. You're going to explain it here. What happens after the video cuts?
Oh my God.
Okay, sorry. You just chopped out for a second. What happened after the video cut? Like, what did they do to you? He might not see us anymore. Is it me that's choppy? People in the chat, who just bugged out? Is it Zod or is it me? The good thing is I can see Jake spinning in the background, and we're going to bring him in regardless. Okay, you know what? Doesn't matter. Zod, if you're watching this, I'm going to bring you out for 1 second until I see that you're actually a moving human again. even in the backstage, I see him. He's frozen. I'm going to give Jake Spinney, the veteran that I met, or the military man. I don't even know what to call him. Full disclosure, people. I'm a coward. I've never served in the military. I think I would have done extremely well, despite the fact all of you think I'm 6 feet tall and, like 210. I'm 5'5.5", and I'm 154. By the way, I've checked it out. Oh, Zot's back. We're going to bring Spinny in soon anyhow, but I've never served. I think I would have done very well because I've done other things which show an idiotic tenacity. I ran a 50-mile race, people. 5 o'clock in the morning, finished at about 5:14 in the afternoon. 50 miles mountain running. Okay, let's bring Zod in. Zod, what happened there?
I don't know. I just tried to get my
Zot's Fed handlers came to get him and tell him that he has to change the tune here. Okay, I'm joking. We're gonna Jake. I'm gonna bring you in soon. Anyhow, don't worry about it. Stay tuned. Okay, we're gonna bring Jake in very soon. Tell us what happens after your arrest, and then we're gonna bring in someone who you met and spent more time with than I did. The gentleman at the war memorial.
After the arrest, they dropped me off. They put me in the car. They dropped me off, and then
where do they drop you off?
Near Saint Laurent.
Wait, tell people where that is in respect of where they arrested you.
Not too far away, like a 20-minute drive or so.
Okay.
And then
sorry, don't want to blow my mic. They arrest you, whisk you off, drop you off not far away, a 20-minute drive or so. In Ottawa. Ottawa's a small freaking town, man. 20 minutes brings you out into the
Maybe
boondocks.
15 minutes.
Yeah, okay, fine. No, but they drive you out very far from downtown. When my car got towed, it was 20 minutes outside. Do they say you've been arrested now? You've been detained. Do they issue you any charges the moment of, or do they say it'll come in the mail? Don't go back to Ottawa.
No, I've been charged with. I got charged with obstruction, and
Okay.
And I wasn't allowed. I'm not allowed to go downtown Ottawa anymore.
Sorry, explain that to people. You have terms of your release. You signed off on this. It says, I will not go to downtown Ottawa. What's your perimeter of no goodness?
It's a pretty big perimeter. It's it's from it's like Bronson, the highway, and a bit past Rita.
I'm going to swear a second time. Hold on a second. Let me just see if this stream has been demonetized. I'm going to swear a second time because that's fucking ridiculous. You've been told you can't go to downtown Ottawa.
Yeah.
until oh yeah, we're demonetized. Let me just go ahead and request review, you sons of until your trial and you are found guilty or innocent.
Yeah.
Where do you live in Ottawa? Do you live within the perimeter of the no-go zone that they've imposed on you?
No, I live outside of it.
Okay, and that would explain why then it was Charlotte who was streaming after your arrest, because you could not go back into downtown Ottawa to even stream.
No. And then even for the fingerprints, I was worried because I had to go, the place I had to go was downtown. And I thought that they could have pulled something saying you're not allowed here. I don't know. So I was worried about that, but that went well.
So they said you were charged with obstruction. The terms of your release or the terms that you agreed to, I don't know what the exact word is. You can't go to downtown Ottawa.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
No.
And so you're basically, swear, I did it, and I got penalized already. I said the F word, people. The kids aren't listening. You can't go to downtown Ottawa until this is resolved.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a goddamn joke. I don't even know what's wrong. I feel worse saying God than the F word. Although the way I just said that makes no sense. Yeah, that's. I mean, look. Okay, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. All right. Yeah, peeps. He's a Fed. He's a Fed who now can't go to the Museum of Natural History in downtown Ottawa. Does it include Ontario? It doesn't include Quebec, right? So it's strictly the province of Ontario.
No, just Ottawa.
Okay, so because the Gatineau Bridge, for anybody who doesn't know, or whatever, the Gatineau is barely 1.5 kilometer walk. So it's on the border of Ontario, downtown Ottawa. You can't go there until this is adjudicated upon. Do you have a court date, or they're going to send it to you in the mail?
It's taken care of.
What was he obstructing? Yeah, good question. We all saw it. We all saw it in real time. What was he obstructing? Okay, LOL at the F word.
And the crazy part is that right when I got arrested, that was the first time my stream had ever hit 10,000 viewers at once. So I was freaking out. I was so happy, and then it was just so much emotion for me at once.
Well, you know what? I'm not a religious person. I do believe in karma and fate, and things happen for reasons. It happens for a reason. Are you allowed live streaming your court hearings, Ott? All right, dude. We're gonna bring in a friend of the family. This is Spinny. You all know Spinny. I had the video. I don't have the video of Spinny telling legacy media to F off because they've been there besmirching the people who were actually protecting the monument. We're bringing them in, people. Let's just see how this works. Boom. Yes.
What's up, everybody?
Spinny also on the weekends he sings for Metallica, and so when Jake was in the back what do they call it? Backstage, back studio. I had never seen him with his hair not in a ponytail. Didn't fully appreciate how glorious and beautiful his hair is, and it actually brings out the beard. Jake, my goodness! First of all, thank you for being here, and I wish we could do this in person, but I'm glad we can just do this. Period. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me,
dude. Okay, now for anyone who doesn't, everyone, I think everyone knows. Well, Spinny, it's with one N. Is it? No, it's Oh, is it 2 ends or 1 end?
It's 2 ends. It's Jack Spiney on Facebook because I keep getting booted off that.
So I think I might have spelt it wrong, but I'm going to forgive myself because you told me to do it. It's Jack Spiney.
Yeah, that's my Facebook account.
No, hold on. It was Jack Spinney. So it's Jake Spinney, which is your actual name.
Spinney is my actual name. Yes.
Jake. Okay. Look, I don't even know. We got to do the same thing. It will be repetitive for people who know my MO. Jake, I need to know yours. I need to know your history, your story. You're from Nova Scotia.
Correct. Yep. The Annapolis Valley.
Say that again.
It's the Annapolis Valley. We're on the Bay of Fundy.
The Annapolis Valley. Hold on just 1 second. Hold on. Annapolis Valley. We're going to get this, dude. I want to show people on a map.
If it wasn't for the thumbnail, I wouldn't have even recognized you.
Yeah. Man, you and I had a lot of talks over that.
Yeah, I know, but with the hair.
You're the only one up at night.
Look at this. Hold on, people. Oh, okay. We're gonna bring this up just so people can see where you live, Jake. It's heaven on earth.
It's God's country, 100%. It is. Yep. You nailed it.
Look at this, people. This is from
That's
the.
right.
Look at
that.
Okay,
That mountain ridge you see in the background is the mountain ridge I live on, but further down the way.
How far are you from Cape Chignecto? If that is close or far?
Quite a ways.
Guys, look at this. Nova Scotia, for anybody who has never been there. Look, all of the Maritimes are absolutely over the top beautiful, but Nova Scotia is uniquely beautiful.
This picture is less than 10 minutes from my house. It's a place called Halls Harbor.
Look at it. It's okay. So I think we've appreciated it. It's beautiful.
It is, yeah, no doubt.
Jake, born and raised.
I'm living in the house that I was raised in on land that's been in my family since 1861.
Do you know where your family came from originally? I mean, historically now?
The land that we're living on is my maternal side, and they arrived in Nova Scotia from Hesse, Germany in 1752 on a boat called the Sally. In case you're wondering.
No, it's beautiful. And how many siblings do you have?
I got 2 older sisters, a younger brother, and 3 nephews. 2 dogs.
All right, man. And now you're gonna. I have to ask you the same question. How old are you?
36. I'm turning 36 in next month.
Amazing. All right, man. So now, I think we know enough of it. We don't need to get into further personal detail, but we probably will. Jake, look, tell us a bit about yourself. I mean, you ended up at the War Monument in Ottawa. How did you end up there? How did it come to be that you found yourself in that place in time in the history of Canada?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we, bunch of my buddies were all sitting in the basement wondering what to do over all this crap, like I think everybody else in Ottawa was. We saw the convoy take off from BC, and by the time they hit Calgary, it was like, yeah, we're going. So the East Coast convoy had left. I had to stay back a day. A buddy of mine took off with me the first day. We met up with the East Coast convoy, and the Friday they came into Ottawa, so we came in with them. But we got sent out to Coventry, like the little side depot they had there. And by Tuesday, I had to head back with my buddy, which I wasn't really feeling that great about. And a few of the guys that were from my hometown had actually snuck down to Wellington that night. So there was the corner of Rideau and Sussex. There was an old black Mac and a yellow truck that were crossed Wellington Street. Well, those guys are both from the Annapolis Valley, right? One guy in the old black Mac is from my hometown, known him my whole life. And at the far end of Wellington, there was a little trailer, and a friend. So I met Sam at Coventry. We live across the valley from each other. His wife's aunt by blood is my aunt by marriage, and we didn't meet till we got to Ottawa. And we live in a small town.
It's beautiful, and I'm not. People could make jokes. I think this is absolutely cosmically beautiful.
100%. So that Tuesday morning, we got Sam snuck into Wellington at like 3:00 in the morning on the very back end of it. He was literally like the last guy to get on the very far side of Wellington, away from Sussex. So I left, drove back to Nova Scotia, had to illegally pass the guard post and not quarantine. I did a little back route into Nova Scotia, which was absolutely ridiculous.
You're on camera, Jake. You may not want to say.
I don't
think those
I
measurements
probably don't want to be on anyway. So whatever, come and get me. That Wednesday morning, I had lambs born on the farm. Thursday, I went and washed up I do masonry work, so I went and washed up a stone job I did, so I had some money to get back. Then I drove 17 hours straight back, so I got there Friday morning on about 12 Red Bulls. I was doing this one by the time I got there. And before I'd gotten back, I'd seen I never got to meet him, but there was a disabled veteran that had been shoveling the snow off of the War Memorial, right? And when I was back here, I had a thing of fake flowers made out from I think I told you the story about my friend Master Corporal Rob Campbell's soup that was murdered. And guess what? The RCMP didn't do their jobs there either.
Jake, I got to stop because there's a lot of we got to delve into those stories.
Go ahead.
Not take for granted that people know that already.
Yeah.
You know what? Before we get to that story, explain your military history so that people know how you figure in this story.
Yeah, and so I just did my first. I'm just under 3 years with the Royal Canadian Dragoons. I'm not a combat vet. I see some people claiming that I was a combat vet. I absolutely am not. I did my 3 years, got out, kind of, before I did something where I couldn't sleep at night, right? So I can still sleep at night, which I'm pretty happy about. Did my training in basic training in Saint Jean sur Richelieu outside Montreal.
Dude, my mother-in-law is 20 minutes from Saint Jean. It's
yeah. So that's where I did. I actually was there during H1N1 when that was going on, and that was actually the first vaccine that I refused in my life. Was the H1N1 vaccine that they tried to push on us in basic. Then I was stationed in Gagetown, did my armor training there, and then was posted to the Royal Canadian Dragoons in Gagetown as well, and served with the rest of my bit there.
So actually, and I got some more follow-up questions before we get to the story.
Yep.
So do you make a decision to go into the military? Like you say it's 3 years. That's 3 years. That's not like you write that off. It's like, I did my 3 years. That's 3 years. So how do you even decide to go into the military in the first place?
I was playing university football at Acadia when my old man passed away, or the spring. My old man passed away in April, and I had been playing university football, and I was starting at Acadia that year, and it didn't go that well. I was in a little bit of a spiral of non-healthy activities, we'll say.
How did he pass away, if I could ask?
It was cancer. He had, thankfully he went quickly, and there wasn't a big drawn out, whatever, right? But the history of that in my family, so it was unexpected, but like you say, it wasn't a terrible drawn out process, right? So I spent a couple of years living in Wolfville, which is where Acadia University is, doing whatever, working, getting by. And I just had I'm definitely not Acadian for sure. I have zero French in me, period. But yeah, so I was just I needed to snap out of it. And my grandfather Spinney served with the West Nova Scotia Regiment and was lost his leg and his eye in the Battle of Ortona. Won 2 military medals for bravery in the field, and like to this day, those medals hang in this house where they always have, and I walk by them every day. Right, I laid a wreath for that man every year, so I was 6 years old till my nephews took it over. Right, so it was just a thing we did. Right, it was a thing in my life, and I felt like I needed to pay my price. That's what I figured I could do.
Okay. That's it. Okay, that's intense. So, and you do 3 years. Is it 3 years of training for noobs like myself?
No. Your first basic BMQ basic military qualification is 13 weeks. It's really 12 weeks. The first week you're just there. And you're walking
just 3 months. It's 3 months of military training. Yeah, no, okay, fine. just that.
Yeah. It's not Full Metal Jacket anymore, right? Like they don't treat you like the movies, right? The woke culture was even going on back then, right?
Okay, and so you do that, and you do that. You see no combat. I'll ask the same question I've asked a few other people.
Sorry.
You do 3 years. You get your training. You get certified. Whatever that term is.
Yeah, I was a certified gunner in a Coyote lab. And I also went to Fort Knox and did the tank simulator training on the Leopard tanks. For
do you? I mean, totally unrelated, but do you want to see battle, or do you do this and say, "I hope I never see battle"?
I think I did at the start. I don't think anybody that signs up for the combat arms, do you want to have soccer practice every day of the week and never get to play? Right. I think I would rethink that decision now for sure, or that attitude, I guess.
Okay, phenomenal. So you do that. And in the meantime, so you do your 3 years. After your 3 years, what do you do? What do? You go back to life?
No, I start flipping houses actually with a buddy of mine that Brody Todd, Brody James Todd, the man with 3 first names, like we call him. He was playing hockey at Acadia while I played football there, and we just became good buddies. We had a summer landscaping job together. Like he's from Niagara actually. He still lives in Wolfville. Got a couple beautiful kids and beautiful wife he met at Acadia. So we started flipping houses. We did 1 here, did 3 or 4 in Hamilton, Ontario. Then I came back after that. That's when I started my stonemasons apprenticeship. Did that for a while. I've had a lot of jobs. Now I don't have a job. I do everything I can to not have a job, actually.
En fait, je vais juste répondre à cette question en français. Non, Étienne, il n'est pas acadien. S'il était acadien, tu aurais pu le voir de son accent. He's not Acadian. You would have heard his accent.
No. I can curse at you in Franglish pretty good after the army, but that's about it.
Now, by the way, Zot, when was the first time you met Jake at the protest?
One of the first days I was there. No.
Yeah. I always saw this guy late at night.
Yeah, I was always late at night because no one else wanted to.
100%, because I was always out at the War Memorial late, right? It was too funny.
All right, man. You know, we have to. I don't even know how to say this. Dotslov. I know who you are. Mandatory carry. Thank you. Jake. Okay, yes. So you've 3 years training. Never. You don't go to battle, and I say that not as a flaw. I say that you might have. You end up at this protest because you see it's going on. You drive down 17 hours from Nova Scotia to Ottawa, back to Nova Scotia, and then you say, I'm coming back.
That was the longest 3.5 days of my life not being there, man. Like, I felt like I left my post or whatever, like something was going to happen and my boys were there and I wasn't going to be there or whatever. Like, it was a long drive back for sure.
What brought you back to Ottawa? Like, why do you come back after having gone home?
We weren't done, right? Like, it was just, I had to be there. I had to be, after experiencing that and the love and the kindness and all of it. And that was just at the beginning of it, man. Like, I can't, like, my buddy Darcy that was with me the first thing is like, he's like half choked that he had to leave, right? You know what I mean? And like, you guys both experienced it. That was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, like you said it, you needed something and you said it out loud and it appeared. Like,
yeah. I'm going to bring this up and then I'm going to explain why I changed the order. Viva, I've been arrested so much in the U.S. for stupidity like having a pool. I'm currently fighting Senate for my dad's retirement 31 years in the Army, retired 2013 and hasn't received a dime. Ted Cruz made it worse.
Wow,
and the reason why I put myself on the bottom is because I knew that some super chats were going to cover the face, and I rather it cover my face than our 2 guests. Thank you very much, by the way. And I'm sorry about your story zonation. Okay, so your buddy, I mean, you go back to Nova Scotia. You say, I've got to come back to Ottawa. The first time you were in Ottawa, did you have your own car or were you with someone else?
I was in my truck and we were staying with my buddy Sam that I just told you about. Sam ended up, he was coordinating the mechanics that were fixing the trucks while they were breaking down, doing all that sort of stuff, right? So we were staying in the back of a trailer he had with a little oil drip stove, man. We were nice and warm.
Where did you park your car?
Oh, a few blocks away, so I didn't get any tickets or towed.
Okay. So, well, I was actually going to ask whether or not you had your bank account frozen at any point in time.
No, but I swear, man, I never had to use a dime of my own money up there. I never used my debit card. I never used a credit card or nothing. The generosity of everyone there was insane. Insane.
Zot, by the way, if you have a question, interrupt me because I can talk forever uninterrupted.
Okay.
Okay, so you get there. When you go, let's say you go back to Nova Scotia, you come back. Where are you staying on the protest area? Are you sleeping in a car? Are you sleeping in a van?
We're sleeping in the back of they would call them toy hauler trailers. So it opens in the back and you put snowmobiles or motorcycles in them. And my buddy Sam from our hometown here had brought it up and he had converted it. So there was a little oil drip, like heating stove in it. And it has a little bathroom and a bedroom in the back. So I slept in a recliner in front of an oil drip stove for whatever it was, the other 2.5 weeks. But we were at the very far end of Wellington. Like we were the last vehicle on the other end of Wellington away from Sussex. I can't remember what the name of that street was. That was over by the highway, if that makes sense, towards the War Memorial or War Museum.
Zot, first time you met Jake at the War Memorial, was the fence up when you met him, or was the fence not up yet?
No.
Were you there when the fence went up? Because I missed it, and I was only there when the fence had come down. Did you see it go up?
No, but I remember. No, it was. Wait, when did it come up? Do you remember?
It literally was up. I got back at 4:00 in the morning on Friday morning, the second Friday morning, and they had put it up at 2:38, like an hour and a half before I got back. Is when they first put it up.
I think I was there one day before it was up.
Yeah.
I remember being there when it was not up, and then I just came back and it was up.
It was the second Friday that they put it up in the morning, right before the crowd came back for the weekend, right? Because they were so concerned about it the rest of the week. You know, they're super concerned about all the riotous protesters. They decided to put it back up for their little photo ops.
Well, so I'm going to start with Zot because I think Zot's answer is going to be short, and then I'm going to go to you, Jake. Zot, you were not there when the Yahtzee flag and the Confederate flag were spotted on day one?
No, but I spoke to a guy who was there and he experienced it, and he said the guy who was the guy who was running around with the flag, and he said he was screaming, "I don't want our country to end up like this."
That's the Yahtzee flag, not the Confederate flag.
Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting. And Jake, your first day there, what was your first day? Was it the Friday when it all started, or was it the Sunday?
It was the Friday, yeah. Yeah.
I got to ask you, did you see the Nazi flag? Did you see the Confederate flag?
No, I didn't see any of it. I can tell you where that Yahtzee flag picture was taken.
Where
no
tell us.
I mean, the street. I know that. It also happened to be the hotel where the cops were staying. You know,
so what, Jake? What hotel was that picture?
The Chateau Laurier, the most expensive one in town, where all the RCMP horse ride, criminals were staying and bragging about running over Mohawk elders. Happened to be the same hotel terrace where the Yahtzee flag picture was taken, completely by coincidence, or not.
Look, the entire time that you were there, Jake, roughly in proximity to the War Memorial, where were you sleeping?
Like like Parliament, like Wellington was like a Parliament Hill or whatever.
Yeah. There's
Rideau in Sussex, which is down by the Chateau Laurier. I was at the very opposite end of Wellington, so I made that trip across Wellington like 6-7 times a day or whatever to the War Memorial. Right.
Now, at one point, you told me that the War Memorial, after the alleged urination or the defacing, was under 24/7 surveillance by protesters. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but can you elaborate on that, or are you familiar with that?
After we took the fence down, their little fence around the tomb, we had it under guard all the time, right? We actually had, I don't know if you saw the little red tent that we had there. It was an ice fishing tent,
yep,
and a propane heater and a cot donated by lawyers from Ottawa, because Ottawa citizens hated us so bad.
Okay, man. And now I'm going to have a few more questions, but Zot.
Yeah.
So you were there before, after the fence came down. Dude, I'll ask you the loaded question. Did you see anything violent, vandalous, discriminatory, intolerant? You were there more than I was. Did you see anything that could remotely justify what we were seeing reported in the legacy Canadian media?
Nothing. None of it. Not one, nothing. The worst.
Jake, I'm going to ask you the same question.
Yeah, I did actually. It was all perpetrated by the police.
We're going to get there. I thought you were going to go somewhere else with that one, but Jake, so I'm going to ask you these questions. I'll start with Zot again. Zot, we saw mainstream media there. We saw how they were getting treated. I thought it was disrespectful. I thought it was rude, but I don't think it was anything criminal or anything immoral because you live with the reputation you build. Did you see the mainstream media get any objectively offensive or violent or insufferable treatment when you were streaming?
I did. I saw all the time people were screaming fake news, like just get this out of here. Like no, everyone was against it.
That's fair enough. And now I might not call that over the top, but now Jake, you I don't think you went viral. I don't think it qualifies as viral. I think you just went honest.
Good.
Was it global news?
Oh no, it was the CBC.
Tell us what happened, and I'm gonna see if I can pull up the video.
Oh, it was literally like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes after we had taken the fence down or whatever, when we were scraping the ice up, cleaning it up. And I saw them setting up there, and they all took all their little, emblems or whatever off their friggin' cameras, but it's obvious who they are because, like, you guys are walking around with your phones and your little whatever phone holders, and they got their whole friggin' 3D cameras or whatever the hell they had. And like that, like after that fence came down, I had some of the hardest men that Canada has ever produced hugging and crying in my arms, telling me how happy they were that fence came down. And I was not having those propaganda scumbags switch it up and turn it on us like we've been seeing the entire time we were there. So I asked him who they were. Buddy kept trying to tell me that he was there every Remembrance Day and blah, blah, blah. And if I had thought of it at the time, I wish I would have asked, well, if he's there every Remembrance Day, how come there was no hit piece on the Governor General this year when she was late for Remembrance Day and interrupted the moment of silence? I didn't see a big hit piece on CBC after that, oddly enough. So yeah, I just told him he was a propaganda scumbag and you need to get out of there.
Now let me see.
I probably said it more than once, but
let me see if I think I got something here that looks like the video. Hold on, just 1 second, people. I'm gonna go in and share this. Share screen.
I shook a lot of hands after that day, to be honest.
Dude, like it's but they'll spin it as though you're the
yeah, that's fine.
Person. Veteran cleaning off
that's
war
fine.
memorial.
They're the worst people in the planet. Yeah, that's it for sure.
Okay, let's go here, and we're gonna go here like this, and we're gonna go boom.
Where are you from? Where are you from? Get the fuck out of here. So you know, I want nothing to talk to you, propagandist scumbag. You are a propagandist scumbag. You're a propagandist scumbag. Get out of here. Get out of here. You're just as responsible for all this garbage as they are. Leave, bud. Leave. Just so I don't want to listen to anything you say. Quite obviously, you fucking embarrassment. How do you sleep at night, bud? You sleep really good or what? Don't worry, we're gonna empty fund you next. Fucking CBC. Just so you know.
Feeling a little sassy. That's my brother, the Ferryman's Toll, right there. Giving me a big hug. Check him out on Telegram.
It's okay. We're gonna close that down. That was Post Millennial, the PM based on.
Yeah. I can't remember her name, but I talked to. Was it her? Yeah, I talked to her right after that. Actually, she was a nice lady.
I don't even know what my question is right now. It's what are what's your perception? Like, what do you feel? Why are you? I'll ask you. Why are you angry? Like, it's an open question.
I mean, why wouldn't I be angry? Right? Like, we all live there. You guys were there. You Zod, you spent as much time as I did there, basically, right? Like, they're liars, and they're completely funded by the government. So I don't know what, like, you can't claim that you're a journalist. You don't get the privilege of free press. You're not journalists. You're propagandists, right? Like, I'm sorry. That's the route you chose. You're gonna have to live with, like, ghosts. I wonder how you sleep at night. Do you sleep really good? I don't think that they do. They can't. They have to know what they're doing.
Zot, did you have any one-on-ones with any of the legacy media?
No. Just like
dude. I tried. So here's I confronted. I had that one-on-one with the CBC. No, like I said, I say, dude, do you not think you're somewhat biased? And the guy's like, no, I think we're totally fine. I posted that highlight. I had a few of them refused to actually discourse with me, which I found, ironic.
Right there. Does that not seem odd for journalists? What's your job, man? Your job is talking, getting people's stories, and putting the whole truth out. Oh, no, I'm not going to talk to you. I've had enough of it, man. That's definitely not where I want my tax money going. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, the funding of those entities, they're government funded, and they're supposed to report on the government. I'm gonna read Cassidy the Carpenter, who I believe is running for office, looking to go to Ukraine. Well, folks, received my call last night, was accepted into International Legion of Territorial Defense of Ukraine, asked if I had experience with anti-tank rifle. Looks like I'll be heading out soon. I cannot verify if any of this is true, but Cassidy the Carpenter, and I'm not going to judge you one way or the other.
I would look into what happened to the last group of territorial defense guys that went to Ukraine, brother. That's all I can say there. They're coming home in body bags. And that's a fact.
Viva, I don't know how, but please share a beer for this man. Well, dude, I'm going to tell you one thing.
Hey, this is my Burns tribute. This is what I smoke.
What do I?
It's the devil's lettuce, Viva. It's the devil's lettuce.
So that's tobacco. Okay, that's fine. That's totally.
No, that's not tobacco, man.
I don't know what it is. I don't care, Jake. I don't care. Okay,
it's legal, man. I grow it myself. It's fine.
Okay, man. 4321. Hold on. On my screen, it was 4321 viewers, which is a very nice sequential number.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Zot, let me ask you this: do you consider yourself to be media?
Yeah.
Okay, now here's part two of that question. What is Charlotte doing now, and where is she doing it?
Charlotte's recording the People's Convoy. She's going for 12 hours a day as well, 10, 12
That's
hours.
amazing.
She puts in a lot of work. She's a very hard worker. And I would have been there if my situation was a bit simpler. And it's great.
She's in the United States right now.
Yeah, she's in Maryland.
And now, if I may, I won't ask the stupid question, but I suspect you might not be allowed to travel, or it might be more difficult.
It's pretty complicated.
Okay, fine. All right, now getting back to Jake, we're gonna bounce between things here. They put up that war. This is something that I don't think people who have not look. You may not have served combat. You did your 3 years. You did those pesky little 3 years training. The war memorial, explain to people who might walk by it on a daily basis, and they say, no, it's a cement pillar, and it says date. Oh, World War I, World War II. What does that mean to people who have actually served, and people who have actually trained, and people who have actually sacrificed for the nation? What does that monument mean to them?
Like to start, it's not just for veterans, right? It's for every one of us. It's for every one of us. Every one of us has an ancestor that paid the price. I don't care who you are. Right, you have an ancestor that paid that price, and like when we first met, I think the very first time we met, the fence was up. I came running over to you or whatever, and I told you the story about my friend Sue. His name is Master Corporal Rob Campbell. Like I said, he was murdered a few years ago. The RCMP, why would you give a shit about a vet, right? And I got back that morning from Nova Scotia. And I went over there. What's that? Sorry.
Murdered where? In Ottawa?
In Nova Scotia. Over his settlement money that he spent 20 years not getting from the army, and finally did it, because he was banged up and hurt and stuff, right, for his little daughter, and then killed him over it. And that's RCMP, hard at work. Nice work, guys. Anyway, I couldn't even put the flowers that I brought up on the friggin' tomb. That's disgusting, man. That is disgusting. And if there was the incident of the lady dancing, got on the tomb for the 2.5. Have you guys seen the tomb? The actual tomb is convex. There's a sword inlaid in it with flowers. No one could possibly have stood on that tomb for any more than 2 seconds. And I'm not saying that that's something that should be done. But if they were actually concerned about anybody doing anything to that tomb, one, there'd be an honor guard on that tomb at all times. And there's not. Even when there's right now, you can go to Ottawa. There's not an honor guard on that tomb. Period. Zod might right? There's no honor guard on it. So if there's such a homeless problem downtown Ottawa, what do you think happens to that tomb in the wintertime? because I personally stopped a homeless person from urinating on it when there was 2 of us standing on guard. So they put that fence up on a Friday morning in the middle of the night, right before the crowd showed up, so they could have. And guess who was there? Guess who was there first thing in the morning?
If I'm
The
going to guess, I'm going to.
CDC.
Damn it! You beat me to it. Yeah.
Right? Like, come on, man. Like, you don't give a shit. Mr. Trudeau said it himself. The veterans asked for too much.
But the other thing is, you're seeing this in real time because you're there basically, say, 24/7 from the time you're there. They put up the fence, and then lo and behold, legacy media is there to snap the schnots, to snap the shots.
Exactly.
Say, look how violent and look how disruptive this protest is. They had to erect a fence around our sacred monuments. I'm going to get angry because this angers me to the bone. They are playing chess with those monuments for the exact inverse reasons for which they're saying they're doing it. Look at them. They can't even protect the monuments. We have to do it for them. And in so doing, they are politicizing and exploiting those monuments for their own political, cheap, tawdry purposes. Do you agree with that? And tell me why I'm right.
That's exactly why I chased them out of there when we took it down, right? You are pawns and puppets, right? That's not the point of freedom of the press is to keep those in power in check. It's not to parrot their decrees, and like mental Marco Mendocino, they friggin' whatever minister, saying that we ripped the fence down and attacked the war memorial. He said that in Parliament. There's video of it. You've never seen a fence come down that quicker or more neatly and been put away so professionally than a group of 50 or 60 veterans. Like, we know how to do stuff, right? And we get things done. And I'm just so sick of them. I'm so sick of every one of them.
Jake, you mentioned Marco Mendocino, and I've got a pretty decent memory. Hold on one second.
I might have said it wrong. I think it's
no, it doesn't matter what you said it wrong here. This is what we're going for. The man who maliciously and dishonestly said that the convoy protesters were threatening, quote, threatening to do bad things, now expects us to listen to this.
Like, I just don't understand how you could be saying on one hand, there's all these strong ties and this is a national emergency for public safety. And I walked every day by these protests. It just doesn't really add up at all.
Stop it. I'm sorry, I have to. It doesn't add up at all. You declared a national emergency because it was so dangerous and over the top. But I was walking to Parliament every day of the week through this protest. It doesn't add up. A normal person with half a brain would say it doesn't add up because there was no emergency. But her conclusion in all of this is, how could you have put us in such danger? But let's get there.
I think I've seen this
Minister,
clip.
sorry, just 10 seconds, Minister.
Well, I would say first, it's not an insinuation. We got the advice from our law enforcement that we've met.
Our law enforcement.
I
Secondly,
just
Ms.
can't believe you
Dancho,
put us in danger in that way, to
respectfully,
be
Ms.
honest.
Dancho,
Like,
there
that
were Ottawans who were
seems
subjected
very
to
irresponsible to
intimidation,
me.
harassment, threats of rape. I mean, and those were all supported by.
But how could we have possibly been allowed to walk by that every
sorry.
day? Like, I just don't understand how you could be saying on one hand, there's all these.
I don't understand how you could be saying that it was so dangerous that we had to declare an emergency, but you let us walk there every day. And her conclusion is not that it wasn't dangerous. Her conclusion is that you put us at risk. You should have called a double secret super emergency 2 weeks earlier.
I think everybody should look into how many Ottawa police officers from the Ottawa Police Service has sexual assault charges right now. Might shock you.
Dude, I have to ask you, please fill in that blank. The suggestion is that police officers, there might be those who protect might be the most likely to perpetrate.
There's a great article out, and I can't remember the name of the man who wrote it, but the title is "The Best Thing the Convoy Did Was Clean Up the Ottawa Police Service." By how many Ottawa police chiefs were that week before they turned the Gestapo out on us? 3. And the first one apparently, not a good guy.
All right, now Zot, by the way, question for you here. Sweet, merciful goodness, I forgot the question. I'm gonna wing it. I'm gonna wing it. Did you see anybody in a bouncy castle in a jacuzzi on Wellington? Because I didn't, but I heard that they were there.
I saw the jacuzzi. I didn't see the bouncy castle.
Okay,
I
good.
definitely saw the bouncy castles.
Okay, hold on. The jacuzzi. What kind of jacuzzi? Like, is it an inflatable or is it a rigid structure?
It was rigid. It was rigid, no?
I think so. It was like one
Yeah,
of the
it
rental.
was.
Like
It was
you
a
could
nice
rent them.
jacuzzi.
Jesus.
Seemed like a good time.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, by the way, this is the question. I just got it, by the way. So Charlotte now is in the United States covering the U.S. convoy. Where is she? She's in Maryland, which is, for anybody who doesn't know, that's a neighboring state to Washington.
And she what was the question?
No. What's she doing then? Like, how's that working out?
Okay, so they're in Hagerstown, Maryland, and every day they go on a drive, the truckers, and she talks to the guys there. She goes in the truck, she takes the drive as well, and she goes. They go around the Beltway. Today, I think they had a bit of a different route, but every day they go on a big. It's like a 4 or 5 hour drive every day.
I think I know Hagerstown, Maryland.
They're on a speedway.
Yeah, no, but I actually.
Beltway, is that what they call that? It goes around DC or whatever.
Yeah, Beltway.
Yeah, no, I think I was there when I went to see Tim Put. It's for 100% because that's like right next to the tri-state. Okay, I won't pull up a map, but so she's documenting this convoy. Which do you know, Zot, if they're going to make it to DC? Are they going to try to land in DC, or are they basically fenced out of DC?
I think they started putting up fences. They started putting up some sort of. Did they not?
I think no. I'm shaking my head. Like, yeah, I'm sure.
I'm pretty sure they started putting up protection.
Yeah,
not 100% sure, but pretty sure. I'll ask her after this. And she streams it every day on my channel. Zot.
Okay, that's amazing. So everyone out there, if you want to see what's going on in the States, I cannot get there. I am not mobile anymore. I'm thoroughly landlocked with family. I would be there, but maybe not. Now, this is going to be a question to both of you. I'll start with Zot. I think I know your answer. Did you ever feel unsafe doing what you were doing? And if you did, when was the first time you felt unsafe doing what you were doing?
I never really felt unsafe, no.
Even when you got arrested, sir?
That day.
Now, Jake, same question for you. And I I'm going to ask you this question, then I'm going to push a little bit on an issue. Did you ever feel unsafe or that you were about to be betrayed by your own country?
Yep.
When?
It was the literal first interaction with protesters and the cops. The very first interaction on Sussex Street, right out of Rideau. There was, I don't know, 15 of us veterans, and I watched my buddy Chris Deering. It was a guy got blown up in Afghanistan, might be 140 pounds, and they kicked the shit out of him. 5-6 months of recovery he's got.
Okay, now I got to stop you there because I think I interviewed him.
Yes,
well into it.
I believe you did.
So back it all the way up because he is. I'm a small man, but I'm stocky. Yeah. We're about the same height, and he's very. He's not as I'm thicker than he is.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, and my thought was once I heard his story that maybe he was thicker once upon a time before the incident. I had no idea how severe his story was. Tell us his story because he told us. For anybody who's watching that might not know it, you can summarize it. This was a Canadian citizen, Canadian military, Canadian veteran,
wearing his medals,
literally blown up in Afghanistan,
wearing his medal.
Take it from there, please.
1 second. Let me go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Go for it. I'll take you out for a second.
Yeah. So we were standing at the War Memorial that first Friday when they started pushing or whatever. And what's actually hilarious is I was standing at the War Memorial, and who do I see running by? The CBC. If you want to know where something's going to happen, you follow the CBC because for some reason they always know. So we gathered up, like all the vets. We all kind of had that feeling Thursday night where it was snowing. They were pressing, the things were going to kick off. So we all stood there. There were like the very first line that got abused by protesters was all veterans. There's 15 of us. 2 or 3 or 4 of them got arrested. Chris got the shit kicked out of them. My buddy Brian Marr, he almost had, if I hadn't had hold of his belt, they would have ripped his head off and thrown him away and arrested him as well. And like, man, I've seen some stuff. I've seen some things in my life, but I did not think I would see Canadian war veterans wearing their friggin' medals, getting the shit kicked out of them by, guys that swore the same oath that we did. Right? They swear the same oath that we did. It was pretty gross. It was pretty gross.
Okay, now and so the what's his name again? Sorry,
Chris Deering from New Brunswick.
Now, were you there when he was actually arrested?
I was 2 people away when that happened. 3 people away, whatever it was.
Now, I don't want to suggest that this is what happened to him. I'm just going to say that this happened and then ask you the question. We've seen the videos. One was a surveillance from live from the shed. The other one was accidentally broadcast, I guess, on CBC, where you see these fucking cops. Like, I don't know what they think they're doing. They're tenderizing the torso of a human.
Did you see the knees that man was putting into Chris?
So now I don't know, the 2 videos that I've seen. I don't know if it was Chris in the video. The tactic that they used to subdue Chris, who is 140 pounds, he's smaller than me.
Yeah.
Was it the same tactic?
Oh,
knee to the torso.
100%, 100%. And like he was just, we were all locked arms, is what we, you know what I mean? We locked arms. We were trying to keep the civilians behind us, whatever, right? And he was just happened to be on the end. They pull you through, right? And like they kicked the shit out of him, right? Like I don't know what else. I don't really know how else to put it, man. But like, there's no reason to knee somebody like that that's already face down in the snow, right?
And I just don't want people like it's like Rosemary Barton. I think it was her on CBC saying, "Oh, what we're witnessing now is the police arresting people." I was like, "No, what you're witnessing now is physical assault."
It's abuse of veterans is what that is. You physically assaulted peaceful veterans.
Now let me try to play devil's advocate for the devil and say they didn't know that he was a veteran because
he was wearing his medals.
Okay, and they're going to say, "Well, we don't know who's a legit vet and who's not." I mean,
doesn't matter. They're peaceful protesters. I don't care if they're like veterans or not, right? Like I understand what you're saying, but Rosemary Barton, guess what? You're incompetent. You've been incompetent your whole life, and now you're a pawn for a dictator. So sorry, that's your choice.
And you know Chris. I mean, did you know Chris beforehand, or did you only meet him?
No, I met him up there. I literally was talking to him probably 2 or 3 hours ago, though, right? Like we all made some pretty good hard bonds up there, right? Like especially us vets,
And
right?
just so I'm not disclosing private information from Chris. When I saw him, it was the Saturday when the shit hit the fan. He told me how he was physically assaulted when he was arrested. Physically assaulted. I just want people to appreciate that. Not like manhandled. Physically assaulted.
No, beaten.
Cuffed with his hands behind his back. Forced to stand for 2 hours, he said, in the blistering cold, and then whisked off like a bag of trash out of Ottawa and dumped like a bag of trash. This is a man who was physically blown up in Afghanistan. 3 of the 4 people on that car, I don't know if it was a tank or whatever, a convoy, were killed. He was the sole survivor.
He was the sole survivor.
Together, healed, assaulted, and whisked off like a bag of trash and dumped out in God knows where. And he had to make his way back to Ottawa.
Yeah, that man's a goddamn hero in my eyes. I'll tell you that right now. For more than one reason.
Okay. Zot, you're back.
Yeah.
Did you I mean, what was the worst piece of other than you getting arrested? The worst police violence that you had seen, but I think you got kicked out before you could see it. Did you witness anything?
The only I saw the Rasta guy getting arrested. I was there for that. I had it on camera, and I think that's the only arrest I've seen.
Because you when you got arrested, it was early Friday. That was before the poo-poo started hitting the fan.
Yeah.
Literally, and then after you got released, you couldn't go back. So Charlotte could do what she could do, but let me see here. Dave, live from the shed, also got dumped outside Ottawa. Yeah,
They all did.
I spoke with David. He was on when I did the I think it was the Give Send Go stream. Okay, now this is my question to you, Jake, because I saw you, and I want you to understand this. I might get a little upset. This is not a criticism. There's no but. Everyone there said we're going to stay here until we get arrested, and then you see what starts happening, and the police start coming in, and they start moving in inch by inch, and they start pushing people back, and then pulling people off, beating them, arresting them, dropping them off 20 minutes outside of the city. You're making an internal calculation. You say, like, I have my morals and I have my principles and I have my line in the sand. And then at some point you say, like, okay, it's not going to do any good. What does that thought process look like? Because I was there the Friday when they were at what I call the Dance Revolution, which was
the rave,
which was just a little bit past the fancy hotel.
Yes,
and I saw them just moving inch by inch. And then I saw the next day they took over the War Monument. And I don't fault you. And I'm not saying this to stroke your ego. I don't fault anybody for not getting arrested for the sake of it. I saw the look of anger and frustration in your face. Hold on, I'm actually just choking on my tongue. I saw the look of frustration in your face when you're like, I have to leave because they're pushing us out of our own memorial. What's the decision-making process in your own mind when you say, this is what I have to deal with right now? I either get arrested for nothing, or I just have to say, that's it, I did the best I could. How does that work in your mind?
I don't even have the words, man. Like we stood there. There was there's four of us that were sleeping shoulder to shoulder with our feet on the ground on the cot in our little tent, because that Saturday night or whatever, Friday night, I guess. And I woke up to my good buddy Tom, who's another dragoon, yelling. He goes, "Stand to, mother effers, we're surrounded." And stand to's the the general, like, get the hell up call kind of thing, right? So we stood there at the Wellington side on the staircases, talked to an RCMP sergeant, and there was probably, I think, 6 or 7 of us vets there. Said, "Listen, we're going to stay here. This is, it's our tomb, right? We're going to use it if there's, elderly children that need refuge, whatever." The RCMP sergeant was all good with that. And then a Peel region sergeant rolled up with about 75 other guys, and the story changed. So they kept pushing us back. I kept asking them to arrest me. I don't think they wanted the optics of arresting vets on the War Memorial. We got to the other side where the actual tomb was. 3 or 4 of us were down there kneeling. My buddy Tom was up talking to one of the cops. One of the cops was actually one of his instructors from basic. And like you said, it just gets to the point, like how badly am I, after watching Chris get beat, watching the other guys get beat, how badly am I going to get beaten over this? And, like Zod, I've no criminal, I managed to get no criminal charges. Right.
Well, by the way,
live to fight another day scenario.
Sub question: to get into the military, you have to not have a criminal record, right?
I didn't. I didn't have a criminal record at the time, or still.
I'm gonna ask you this:
that was a rough day. That was a really rough day, man. Like,
because this is the thing, like it's, you see it in movies, you read about it, like the loyalty of the brotherhood or the sisterhood, the humanhood of veterans, where they would. When I read, someone in the chat's going to remind me of the story with the old breed. I forget the name of the book. It's the Battle of Pelulu, where, like, people get injured and they just want to go back and be with their brethren because they would rather die a hero than live a coward. And so you're sitting there, and they say you have to leave now, and you're like, what do I do? Do I get arrested and be a hero, or do I just back off in protest and think of myself as a coward? I'm not calling you a coward because I don't think you are. Do you have that feeling of regret, or do you have that feeling of a sense of cowardice in yourself for not having done what you wanted to do in the first place?
Oh, for sure I do. We were kneeling in front of the tomb, me and my buddy Jamie's another, with, just so happened I had 2 of my other brothers from my regiment that none of us had ever met before. Just seen another black hat with the same emblem on, came running and hugging each other, right? And Jamie and I were kneeling beside each other right there at the tomb, man. And it one of the other vets, lovingly known as Shorty. She's a Navy vet from BC. Left with the original convoy. Kind of started pulling us up. You know, she was upset, didn't want us to get arrested, whatever. And it's like, what else can we do but get beaten right now, right? And you know, sometimes I wish I had taken a couple licks, and sometimes I'm glad I didn't. So
now, Zot, here's the question to you, and this is a big one. With great power comes great responsibility, and now people are looking to you as the continued going forward voice of truth. How do you deal with that responsibility, and how do you deal with that onus?
I'm here to give the people what they want. They wanted the U.S. convoy. Charlotte's in the U.S. convoy. Whatever's next, my channel will be covering.
Good man.
From now on, that's it.
Good man.
And now, what is next? So you got the convoy in DC. Now the question is, okay, for anybody who doesn't understand the level, like Canadian politics, Canadian corruption is insidious. U.S. politics, U.S. corruption is insidious version 3. Like I said, we're not good at what do they call them? Provocateurs. We're not good at that. We had 2 on day 1 and then never saw them again. But that's all that we needed in Canada. In the U.S., they need a little more. They need like something that allows them to say it was a January 6th. So the protest in the States is going to be radically different than the protest in Canada. But I mean, I guess between Jake and Zot, what do you see as the future of Canada and Canada protests being right now? Jake, on the inside, do you have any knowledge of what is next in Canada?
Not that I'm going to say on live television or on the internet.
I like that answer. And Zot, do you have the same answer, sir? It's an easy one.
I see the comments talking about BC, but I don't know.
Yeah, I actually I've seen that too. Actually, let me see if I can bring one up because I'm not sure.
I should say actually they're doing the Great Canadian Cruise. I think that's the one on the way to BC right now, and they're actually in Nova Scotia. Came the other way. There's a big freedom rally in Dartmouth, which is. So Dartmouth and Halifax are literally like Ottawa and Gatineau, except there's 2 bridges and everything, right? So they're having a big protest there on the weekend, and a bunch of us veterans will be going down and doing that as well.
And I'm reading this. This young guy, Zot, is a genuine and great soul. God is protecting them, Char and Zot, a lot. Oh, Charlotte. Okay, I thought it was Char. Jake, now for on your end, like, so what's next? Because you're in I'll say rural Nova Scotia, but I think
no, I'm on a mountain on a dirt road, brother. That is as rural as it gets.
my joke was that all of Nova Scotia is pretty rural, except for maybe
also
Halifax.
true. Also true.
So the farm on which you're working, like what kind of farm is it?
Farm's probably not the right word. I would call it a homestead. Like
okay.
a farm's got bills to pay. I just work to pay my bills, as it were, right? Like.
You've delivered a mammal. You've delivered a
yeah. I've had my hands places they shouldn't be, for sure.
I need to ask you this because it's been on my bucket list. It's a bizarre one. I want to deliver a cow or a lamb.
Yeah, you're nuts.
You've had your hands in the vajayjay of a female cow or a female lamb.
Both.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
I'm gonna ask you questions. I got 3 questions.
Okay.
How flexible is the region? I mean, is it?
My hand's too big.
Okay. Shocking. Do you feel like you've done something useful when you pull out the baby?
Oh yeah. It's you're saving a life, right? Like how like you can't feel much better than that.
Okay, I gotta do it.
Think about it afterwards, though. Which ain't that great.
Uncle Peter, I know you're watching. I'm delivering a cow this summer. I'm going to do it, and I'm gonna have a GoPro on my head and a GoPro on my wrists. I've got small hands. Jake,
you're
probably
a better size to do it than I am, for sure.
Oh, Jake, by the way, how tall are you, if I may ask everyone?
I'm 6 foot.
All right, and Zot, you're even taller than Jake, right?
Yeah, I'm like 6'3", 6'4".
I was gonna say, man, not too many people I look up at.
I don't know what's going on. Like, I think my family was withholding food from me so that I would be short and okay. North American milk. You know that might be it. I don't like milk. I never drank. I eat cheese. Now, state by state and province by province, Viva, love you, Athlo. Although I like Ricada better. Don't worry about that, dude. Ricada is like Viva without a filter, so I can appreciate that. So, dude, you're on a homestead.
Yes.
Do you have a product that you offer to the general public, or
don't need to?
Okay. This was the question I had to ask you. You said you had no bank accounts frozen. Have you noticed any blowback as a result of your participation or your presence at the War Monument? If you can answer it.
We all saw the clip in Parliament when they asked the Klaus Schwab question, correct? Well, my MP is the deputy speaker of the House, Mr. D'Entremont, and my house number and my cell phone number are blocked from calling all three of his office numbers.
Is that because you were hacked, or is that because you did something you shouldn't have done?
Well, if calling your MP to talk to him for a month straight is doing something wrong, well, I guess I did something wrong, right?
Let me ask you this: they never once took any one of your calls.
Oh no, they took my call. Like the MP never took my call. His office would take my call for the first couple times, but that was it. Like I called them every day when I was there. I said, "Man, I'm a veteran. I'm living on Wellington Street in front of the Supreme Court here. You know, like we'd like to talk." They had other things. They're too busy renaming streets after Zelensky, the hero of the Ukraine.
And I want everyone to know, by the way, if I pull up a chat that is from the same person over and over again, I don't see the avatar until the chat comes up. So that is just, it's a testament to when I read the chats and then I see it's somebody, you have funny comments that allow me they catch my eye. Viva, please come to the USA. We would love to have you. You are amazing. Made in Michigan. We'll see what the future holds, but okay. Someone says someone does not like milk, Jake. So you might be
raw milk, man. I drink 12 liters of raw milk every week.
That's gross, man. But if I eat a ton of cheese. Yeah. Okay. But can you show me the tattoos? I have not seen them.
Oh, I got a few.
So
as a convoy, you turn into a different guy.
Speaking of which, hold on. Where am I at here?
Yeah,
that's. Hold on, I don't know how to do this. That tattoo right there is a war medal with a gas jug, a jerry can in the middle of it that probably half a dozen of us vets got when we were up there.
So hold on, who did the tattoos when you're up there? Seriously, that's nuts.
With all these ones?
Well, those are older tattoos, right?
Oh yeah, I got a couple when I was up there actually.
So show me the one that you got when you're up there, and how did that happen?
That's it right there. So that's a medal, like a war medal, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if you hold on here. I'm sorry, I'm bad with this shit. There's a jerry can in the middle of the medal with crossed swords. There was a tattoo artist in the hotel we were staying in the Saturday night or Sunday night after the cops came in, and he offered to do a bunch of tattoos for some of those veterans, and we took them up on it.
But like, are they? I don't want to say prison tattoos in a derogatory sense.
No.
They're official, like a real tool, not a.
Oh yeah. I've given myself a few tattoos, but most of mine are professionally done.
Just so everyone knows, I will never get a tattoo while my father is still alive. So that I just can't. And it's not. I'd love to, just can't do it. Zot, what's next now, man? So are you're Canadian locked, so you might be able to travel interprovincially, but you cannot cover anything out of downtown Ottawa.
No.
Court cases? Are you following any of the court cases?
Of me?
Well, no. I presume you're following your own court case.
Other people's no. I haven't really been keeping.
So now, if I may ask, I'm going to ask the intrusive question. I don't care about your emotional relationship with Charlotte. How are you splitting up now, content-wise on YouTube? Are you going to do Canadian-US stuff, or is it going to focus on US and you're going to try to figure out maybe what you're going to focus on by way of Canadian content that you're lawfully allowed to cover?
Well, I'm not sure because as of right now, she's pretty much covering the whole day. She's going like 10, 12 hours each day. So I don't know. It wouldn't really make sense to have two streams running at the same time.
Yeah.
But if there's something bigger in Canada, maybe she'll come back and we'll go to that, or I'll go to that. I don't know. She'll take a break, something like that.
Now, Jake, God, I feel like I have so many more questions for you now.
Ask away, brother.
So no frozen bank account.
Nope.
You live in I presume it's a relatively small town. Are you getting recognized for good or for bad?
Good, I guess, if you want to put it that way. No one's screaming at me violently or whatever. I've been noticed a few times going into stores or whatever.
And the hold on, I'm gonna pull out some doggy icos right here. Oh, this dog's got icos in his face and it's disgusting. what are your plans now? Like seriously, longer term.
Well, I'm trying to start the farm back out. Being gone for 3 weeks was a bit much. Had Mama Bear here looking after things, but that's not feeding the animals, doing all those stuff. But I got fences to put up and things to build and whatever else. But as far as the movement goes, I'm ready for whatever's next.
And speaking of Mama Bear, is Mama Bear mama or wife? You don't have a
Mama Bear is in my mother.
Okay, no wife or kids for you yet.
Nope, pair of dogs.
What kind of dog?
I got a pit bull German Shepherd and a Rottweiler Mastiff mix.
Son of a bitch! Those are the two most beautiful dogs I've ever. See, the Shepherd part I could deal with. I like pit bulls, and I grew up with bull mastiffs.
Yeah,
I grew up with bull mastiffs, and I ended up with this.
My dogs would eat your dogs for sure.
I know, dude, and rightfully so. Like my dog might allow themselves to be eaten to nourish the superior breed. Okay, so that's amazing. So okay, well, first of all, I'll start with Zot. You know what? I'll let the chat put in questions. Don't even feel need for super chat. Put in questions that I might have missed. Zot, where can people find you now going forward, and what can they expect?
Well, you can find me on YouTube, Zot, Z-O-T, simple. And what you can expect, continuous protests, convoys, the Trump rallies when the elections are more coming closer. I think those are going to be super interesting. So, Charlotte, if I'm able to get down there, me too. We'll be covering Trump rallies for sure. And freedom convoys and just any interest. It doesn't even have to be Canada, US, anywhere in the world, anything interesting. The Russia-Ukraine's a bit too much.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too complicated. It's too sensitive, and you can only do so much from abroad. That's the bottom line. So I would not recommend anyone go to the Ukraine because
don't go to the Ukraine. Do not go to the Ukraine.
The Fox cameraman actually died there.
Yeah, no, that's it's like there've been now I think 3 reporters who have been killed in Ukraine. To be determined who did it. It doesn't really matter who did it.
They're dead.
It's a war zone. It's a war zone. Jake, so do you have a social media Rambo? Everyone, thank you very much. Do you have a social media presence?
Not like Mr. Zod by any means.
Dude, Jake, this is I'm a YouTuber, I'm a lawyer, I'm also a consultant. Have you not thought about doing something like a homestead, farm life?
I do not want any sort of attention for that period.
Okay, it's interesting. And it's a very, very legitimate, reflexive, and
I live up here because I like to be by myself and alone and look at, you know what I mean? Like I've had friends that I've known for 15 years that have never been here.
Well, so now that's the question I'm asking now. It's an interesting statement. I have no doubt it's 1000% true. How do you feel now, having you either thrust yourself or you were thrust into the limelight of an international movement? I mean, do you regret anything you did in the context of this protest?
Absolutely not. Absolutely, I regret it. That was the best time of my life. Period. That was the greatest thing I've ever seen. Taking that fence down around the war memorial was the best thing I've ever done. Period. I don't really like the, whatever celebrity and whatever of it, but that's why I started talking to guys like you, right? If there's any point in my life that I'm going to speak out about something, it's my goddamn freedom and everybody else's freedoms too, right? So I'll take I can sacrifice my anonymity for freedom for sure.
And so going forward, you're gonna go back. I say go back. You're going to go to what you prefer, which is not defending a war memorial from fake news activists.
What I would prefer is the government of Canada puts honor guards on that war memorial like it deserves. That's what I would prefer. But they won't until Remembrance Day, I'm sure.
This is taken away from the dancers that I know. Okay, let me back this up. I think I misread this. This is taking away from dancers that I know. However, please, Jake and Zot, put your channels out here. Much love. Okay, that was a joke. I think I misread the first part. No, look, I don't know what to say. Zot, you're going to be out there. you're going to be promoting yourself. I'm going to promote you. You're covering what. There's a part of me that I don't wish I didn't have the family stuff that I have. I just wish I could work everything at the same time. I would love to be there. Part of me that being said would not want to be in the same situation in the US that we had in Canada, because they tried to make a January 6th in Canada. My concern is that they will make a January 6th in the United States, and not a January 6th as in it was a violent insurrection. Infiltration, provocateurs, getting legit video footage that allows them to do what they did. So I mean, it's great. I mean, Charlotte's there. God bless you, Ottawa Scotty. I believe Travel Fund 69. Zot, who else? Do you know who else might be live streaming from the U.S. convoy?
Scotty isn't there.
Okay.
The only people that are from Ottawa that went there is me and Travel Fund.
Okay. Travel Fund 69. So check it out. And that's Jake is, hold on. Oh, damn it. I just had, here we go. Jake is honorable and noble. There's no question. This is the thing. I met Jake. I'm good with character. I met Zot. I thought Zot was a little frazzled when I saw him, and I was like, I thought I was about to get stabbed in the back. But then I saw him, and he's a good kid. He's a young kid, and you've evolved in a month. You've evolved in 2 months, and you're doing good stuff. And the world needs it. And this is a thing. Sometimes you choose your path, and sometimes your path chooses you. Zot, your path chose you. Jake, your path chose you as well.
I can't disagree with that.
You have different paths now going forward. So Jake, what do you want? I mean, let's just, you have the moment now to say what you want to say to the world, to Canada, to Justin Trudeau, to politicians. What do you want to say? A loaded question.
Well, to Mr. Trudeau, you're a bag of garbage. You're a living bag of garbage. If you like Mr. Peterson said, if you had an ounce of integrity, you never would have ran for politics. To the MPs, you all should resign too, because instead of dealing with Canada, you're all virtue signaling for the Ukraine, right? You're clapping for an actor. To the rest of Canada, the rest of the world, whatever, it's time to stand up for your freedoms, right? It's not it. If you look at the next 7 bills going through the Parliament and Senate in Canada, and you're not concerned, you might as well dig your own grave, man, because you're not paying attention. You must be brain dead. That's all I got. Loaded or not.
You know, it's not. It might not get more impactful than that. Zot, what do you say? And where are we? Where we're going to find you? We know we're going to find you. What do you say?
Final words are, I just wanted to add something, a little point from earlier. You know, you played the clip of me tracking you down and saying, "Oh, shut up." It was hard to track you down that day.
Just so everybody knows, there is a delay. Like, so it's not like in real time. There is a delay, and at that point in time, that was pretty early on. Like, I didn't know where the convoy was going at that point. Like, I was just there to document reality. Mm-hmm. It's a fortuitous thing, Zot.
Mm-hmm. And last thing I would like to say is, again, go subscribe to Zot. If you guys, when Viva's done, come over to the chat, say hi.
Hey, you're getting one more, man, because I'm going to subscribe as soon as I'm done.
Charlotte is live right now.
Awesome. This is not grit. Sorry, let me rephrase. This is not grift. This is grit. Zot and Charlotte are offering value to the world, and value as in documenting reality. And if I could be doing it, I would be doing it. But instead, I've got a dog licking the salt off my hand. Look at this. I'm a human salt lick. I don't want to see anybody. Nobody's judging Zot. Zot, you do good work. Jake, people love you. They love you because you are a lovable human, and you're an authentic human. And that's, if the world, Zot just disappeared.
He's out.
Zot, no warning. He's done. Jake, I mean, the thing is this. I met you the first day, and I was trying to look through to see when I first met you, but I can't find it.
I looked the other day. It's like the 9th of February, I think, or something.
I remember seeing you shoveling the front steps, insulting them. I said, "What are you guys doing?"
Walking at you.
Yeah, and it's like I'm a good judge of character. I just hope I just so everyone knows, I did not boot Zot. Zot, I think, is going to do what he's doing, and he's doing amazing stuff. Period. Jake, I know a good person when I see them, and when I hugged you, and first of all, you have a very big barrel chest, and it's a beautiful thing. Like I'm a small man, and people don't appreciate that. And
I didn't think you were that short, for sure.
Short. Now I'm frail. I'm a small man.
I don't know about frail. I wouldn't call you frail.
Well, no, I'm okay. I'm a stocky Polish sausage. That's how I call myself.
Your words.
But no, but you're a good man. You're a good man, and it's you know the shit that they pull in terms of like, oh, you said you were a veteran with war, dude. You put yourself out on the front lines for your country, and you did what you had to do, and you went there to Ottawa to do what you felt you needed to do, and you fought the media, you fought the police, and now like and there's always that I don't want to draw any hyperbolic analogy, so I'm not even going to do it. But there's always that you leave and you're at home now and you say, I could have done something more. I could have done this. I could have done that. I could have been in jail. I could have been going through the same shit that other people are going through. Value added to your life, zero. Value added to the movement, zero. Correct. But the symbolic value, okay, fine. You get to say symbolically, I got arrested.
Yeah,
doesn't matter. Day one to the last day you were there, when I saw you being forced out on video, when I couldn't be there in person, I said I could feel your pain.
Yeah, it was a gross day. That was a gross.
The question is now then, going forward, what are you? You know, people might want things from you. What are you going to do going forward?
I'm ready for whatever. I stay ready.
All right, I love it. Now, okay, let me see if I'm going to see this before we cut out. Cut out. Every time I say cut out, I feel like the truckers and yourselves gave a foundation for the beginning of a movement. Many people are awakened. We need somewhere to congregate online to pool resources and plan legal protests. Where? It's a sick thing. I would say go to Twitter and just follow some of the people, because you'll get on.
I mean, any social media, anything is compromised. Period. Full stop. Right? They're going to get into whatever you want. So go to Telegram. Go to Signal. The local stuff is awesome. I'm telling you right now. You guys turn me on the Duran, and I've been
Duran's amazing. But I'll say this, by the way, I won't be blackpilled. My let me rephrase. My red pill. Assume you're being watched and listened to everywhere, even on Signal. I don't think Signal.
100%. If it's on the internet, they can get to you. Period.
So I say, just follow the platforms on whatever social media. You'll get the news updates, and you'll know where to go when you need to go.
I find Telegram's a lot better for actual news, because you can find people that, like, for me, I'm following the Ukraine thing pretty good, and you can find people that are in there, right?
Coach Red Pill in Ukraine. If you want a sort of non-mainstream take on it, if you want a mainstream take, Fox News. So Jake,
man, they suck too.
Okay, hold on one second. Everyone should know there's a reason why I don't cut the hair on Winston's eyes. He's blind, so he can't see anything regardless. So I don't feel the need to trim him. But thank you very much, Kathy. Oh, the dog just fell off my lap. That's how blind he is. Jake, when I make it to Nova Scotia.
Oh, you got a home here, brother.
Dude, we're going to hang out. You
like to fish, right?
Say it again.
You like to fish, don't you?
I like to fish. I like to deliver cows. So.
Okay, well, I don't have cows. We might be able to get you to deliver a pig, but I could take you to some good striped bass spots.
Striped bass, as in brackish water?
In ocean water.
Marion? I'm gonna get my wife. Okay, Jake.
We have some really good striped bass fishing here.
Hold on, and hold on. Deliver a pig? How do you do that?
Well, same way you deliver a cow, man.
Hands up the vajayjay of the pig.
Well, hopefully you don't have to do that, right? Like, you only have to do that if shit's going south.
Well, that depends on who you ask. Some people might just be looking for an excuse to stick their hands up the vajayjay of a pig. I'm just saying.
That's going to cost you.
Oh, man. Okay. We're doing this, and it's going to be beautiful.
Please come
Mr.
down.
Spinney, I respect your character. You're legit.
Thank you.
He's just a good man. You can tell good people when you see them.
You guys are gonna make me blush.
When Spinney was sitting there salting the steps of the War Memorial and breaking up the ice and fighting off fake news, that's all you need to know. Okay, man. Okay, Jake, you stick around. We're going to say our proper goodbyes afterwards. Everyone in the chat, great stream. Thank you very much. Prairie Farm Girl. Oh, that's beautiful. That's a double rainbow. All the way. Okay, that's an old meme. I don't even know who knows that anymore. Jake, stick around. We're going to say our proper goodbyes. Everyone in the chat, thank you very much.
I just want to give a shout out to my buddy Jeremy McKenzie, the Raging Dissident. Go check him out on Rumble.
Raging Dissident. I do believe he's got a platform on another platform. Is he not on? Oh, geez.
Odyssey.
Odyssey, but no, he's on another one. It's
Telegram.
No, it starts with a U. Hold on one second.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure what that is. I know what you mean, though.
Hold on. I cannot end this if I don't do it properly.
He's on right now on Rumble. I'm going to go over there and check that out when I'm done.
I will not be.
Oh, yeah. They were in Russia, too. They were in Russia. That the platform you're talking about, they moved.
It's called Universe. It's a universe. Oh, I won't be able. I'm not going to find it in time. Hold on. I know exactly. I'm going to get it. Right now. Please, everyone, bear with me because I cannot get this part. It's called Super U. Oh, thank goodness. I'm fairly certain Raging Distant is on Super U. So
I think you're right.
Okay, and please, I would not be happy with myself if I left that without getting it. I'm fairly certain it's Super U, where it's another alternative platform. He's amazing.
That's his flag right there.
Show me again. Say it again.
The Diagolon flag.
Dude, your hair down and not in the ponytail with your beard. it's glorious.
For my TV appearance.
Raging Dissident rocks. Okay, I'm glad. Okay, we got it. Jake, you and I, this is not the end. This is the beginning of the beginning. So we're going to see each other soon. Everyone in the chat, thank you very much. Snip, share away, let everyone know. Zot, you know where to find him. You, Ottawa Scotty, Travel Fund 69, and everybody else. Just follow the truth, and it will lead you to the
Shots
truth.
by Hill is another good one to follow, too.
Awesome. People, enjoy the night. Peace out.